petty all the time. I'm petty all the time.
Baby, welcome to the party.
Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T-Y. I'm petty all the time. Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T-Y. I'm petty all the time.
Hey y'all, welcome to another episode with the Petty Party Crew. It's your girl Krista, aka Champagne Chris, aka Chris F. Baby, please say the baby.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Michelle, aka Egypt if you nasty.
Hey everyone, just Nick checking in.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Paulette coming out the set. What's good?
How y'all doing?
Y'all? Doing
Good.
great, actually.
Doing good. Everybody had a lot to say before, so y'all better come with it with this. How y'all doing?
Oh, you want to come with it?
No, I said y'all come with it. I didn't say me.
So how was your weekend?
It was fun. I was actually in New York. I went to the Piano People. It was like, I don't know how to pronounce this word, so please, y'all don't don't talk shit about me. But on piano, it was on piano concert. And I got to see
Piano?
No, I think it's on piano.
No, it's on
I'm just
on piano.
AMA,
on
yeah.
piano, yeah.
I didn't know you said the second A.
Or our piano.
I thought
this girl. Well, yeah. And I got to see Scorpion Kings. They mix that because they don't. Yeah. See, that's the difference between on piano and Afro beats. Like on piano is just the music, and like they did that. They mixed a song called Abba Lele or Lele Abba Lele. Sorry, y'all.
Love that song.
That's my jam.
But you know the crazy part is,
other
it's like
songs too that are just as good.
There is.
I think that on piano is just like kind of like a new term, because if y'all think about South Africa is known for house music. So like I feel like on piano is like more of house music mixed with the Afro beats twist to it, because it's like house has been around forever, and that's literally what South Africa is known for. So
yeah, I did. I want to make a statement. I can't make it on air because it's too bold for y'all. But yeah, I prefer on piano over Afrobeat.
You know what's so crazy? I'm so glad you said that, because
I do. Like sometimes I don't want to hear words. I don't want to hear like.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But
You know,
but the thing is,
like
because
the
I love
music.
house music, so I actually feel you.
Yeah.
But
Like,
sometimes I do want to hear words because, bro, because y'all know when y'all be in Dirty December in Nigeria and like the piano is going, I was like, all right, bro.
Yeah,
let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
I can only do so many times. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's wrap it up.
Like it's just more than that. Like I don't know. I literally.
It's the vibe, I think.
We got there at like 5. Sure. It went from 3 to 10. We got there at 5 and went until like 10 after.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I was like, just like, oh my God, like.
It takes you
I'm
on your
somewhere
body.
else. Like
the beat.
I
really
don't know
takes
what
on your
was
body.
going on, but like for 5 hours, that couldn't be at an Afrobeats. I would be bored. Like at some point, I'm just like, okay, one song.
But
But I think it's like you gotta think about it. Like that's the reason why people like enjoy like EDM and things like that, because like that's exactly what it is. It's literally just like a different beats being thrown together and remixed together, and it's just taking on like a music.
But you know,
different vibe.
it's crazy you said that, because that's exactly why Rema dropped the album that
It's crazy.
That's why he dropped the album that he dropped now, because what he was saying was he felt like Afrobeats was actually like getting lost in like
becoming mainstream.
Yeah, it was becoming so mainstream, and it was actually becoming so drowned out by Amapiano music, because people were incorporating it so much because it's getting so popular that most of the popular Afrobeat sounds all sound the same. And he was like, Afrobeats is so different that there are so many different sounds you can have. So his new project is so interesting.
It's
like,
really good.
I love
it's
it.
going back to like the roots of like what Afrobeats is and the sounds and all.
I like
and I was
it.
like, you know what? I actually do like it, because it's like no one is making music like
think
that.
a lot
Because
of
you're
those
hearing
songs sound
like
the same
you're
to me.
hearing the drums, you're hearing a lot of
always
like
one.
the instruments.
Same thing with Tim's.
I mean,
There's a lot. There's not just one.
I said that y'all tried to crucify me.
I feel the same way for Rema. I think a lot of his songs sound very similar. Yes, it's like
didn't even use all of my power. No, he low key ate. Like,
Yeah, he did.
That man didn't.
Yeah, he did.
That's how it reminds. That song reminds me of like an African movie where it's like the witch doctor is just there. Just
literally, and I definitely feel like he's playing on his culture, which I mean, homage, so respect, but it's like, you know.
Yeah.
I felt the vibe. He was just like, you know what, y'all, everyone's doing this, and I can do that, but I can do this too.
The thing is,
and I like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, Rema, when Selena Gomez got on your track and you was making them records and making them art, you wasn't complaining.
That's
like,
how you crossed over.
That's how you cross. No, yeah, but at the same time, like you were profiting off of that, and now you're trying. Which I feel him. That's how you do it. I guess you just go back to your roots.
I think there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, what I'm saying is like you were profiting off of it at one point.
I think that's
so
what
like,
makes an artist an artist. So I think that the whole point of being like a versatile like superstar and an artist is to be able to produce different sounds. Like I don't think every album that you put out should sound the same.
Yeah.
And so that's actually the reason why like I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but I like Drake because I think that Drake actually comes through and puts through different music. Like even that one like kind of like EDM house music album that people say he's a culture vulture, yes, but I think that he's also just having fun with he's just having fun with his sound. Like he's doing it because he can.
Can I be honest with you too? And I'm a big fan of this Afrobeat artist, but that's where I feel like Wizkid is kind of stagnant in. He kind of has the same sound.
You think so?
But I think Wizkid created.
And I'm a big fan.
I think Wizkid created his sound. I think that's the reason why it's important for him. Like,
but it's okay. We can just branch off somewhere else a little bit.
But the thing
play
is,
around. Like
the crazy part is, I think that's Wizkid. Like it'd be different if he changed up from 5-10 years ago. Like that is who he is. Like,
but his sound has transitioned. What I'm saying is that it's okay to do something else. Like that's what makes you an artist. Like it's okay to go play around in something. Because I feel like I like Wizkid's sound, but I'm like, I don't want to say I'm bored, but I want, as someone that's a fan of him, I want to see you try something else.
Yeah, I love Wizkid.
I want you, like, and I do too, but I want to see you try something else. Like, I commend Rema for being able to, like, try something, like, just try something else. Like, it's not going to hurt your career. You're where you're at now. You can try something else. Like,
you know what? I see what you're saying, and I feel like that speaks to your point when you said like he profited off of like crossing over or whatever. But I do think it takes a big artist to cross over and cross back because I feel like that's the problem with Afrobeats, and that's why we lost that essence. Is because a lot of people came up off of Afrobeats, minus Burna Boy because he definitely was reggae when he first started. But a lot of people came off of Afrobeats, and then as soon as they got popular, they were like, okay, I want to cross over and make music that appeals to everyone. It's just like, okay, so who are the Afrobeat artists now at the end of the day? So I feel like Rema was just like his album right now. The people who liked the song with what's it called? Selena Gomez.
They're not gonna like his
not
album.
fuck with his album, and he does not care. I feel like once you reach a certain level of success, it's just I need to make music for the people who started off.
I don't think it's an issue at all. Like I'm just making note of it. Like you remember? And I'm not gonna lie, that song I hated it at first, but it grew on me. I actually do like this Calm Down with Rema. With Selena Gomez. Sorry. I actually do like her verse. Baby, I like her verse.
I'll be honest with you, when her voice, I don't hear her part. I just
I ignored it for a very long time.
It's like this is why he's here. So let's just enjoy it.
Okay, so we're gonna jump into the MOTO, and this MOTO is called "Am I Tripping?" Okay, so hey ladies, love the show and y'all's personalities and insights. Thank you. I want to know if I'm tripping. So me and this guy casually kick it from time to time. It's nothing serious, and we've established that and have a mutual understanding. We've only known each other for a year and slept together 3 times. I made it my business to not exchange social media with him. Just because I don't like the person I'm having dealings with to have it, but I know his social media. He just doesn't know it. I felt like I needed to have his just for protection reasons. Honestly, you can never trust these men too much. Anyway, here and there we'll casually check in, see how one another's doing. I texted him yesterday just seeing how he was, and he told me he had a bad ear infection. I replied, I know that has to be annoying. Have you been feeling a little bit better with medicine? I wish I can give you the biggest hug. I know it sucks not being at 100%. Then we just continue chatting back and forth, just catching up. I don't know why, but hours later, something tells me to check his Twitter X, and he posted,
"Oh, baby, the worst one."
No disrespect, but you tell someone that you're going through. This is not funny. Oh my God. I don't know why, but hours later, something tells me to check his Twitter X, and he posted, "No disrespect, but you tell someone that you're going through something difficult in life, and they offer you a hug. What that damn hug gonna do?" I don't know why, but that pissed me off because why not just say that in the moment? Like we could make a joke about it or even turned it into something cute. Like running to social media where people are retweeting, laughing, and commenting jokes under the post was so sassy to me. Like I sent that text with empathy and care. I know I wasn't supposed to see it, but I did, and I'm glad I did. He is not my man, nor did I want him to be, but this just really makes me not want to talk or deal with him anymore. Am I tripping?
No, I don't think she's tripping. I
don't know.
I think, okay, so it's one of those things where, you technically weren't supposed to see it, but you did. So you did see it, and I do think it was a little sassy of him. It's like,
was it sassy? It's just banter, bro.
It's
just banter.
Tweets.
Like, just tweets. Like,
just tweets.
Yeah. I be tweeting shit like that too. Like, it's just tweets.
Yeah,
like,
but
no harm intended.
But the thing is, you're probably tweeting that with you knowing that person's probably not going to see that.
And
but she did. But then she did see it. So I think it's one of those things where it's like, technically, if you have an ear infection, what am I supposed to do? Like,
Okay.
what do you want me to do? You want me to go get the ear drop for you? Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
But
you're
like,
you're a grown ass
girl,
man.
That might have been like,
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get me? Like, don't get me wrong, because I don't want to, like, gun her down in this, but, like, I agree where you were going, Michelle. I just feel like, for example, like, if a guy told me he wasn't feeling well, like, I already know me. Like, dude, I'm like, okay, like, let me see, like, what does he need? Like, do you need, like...
That's not her nigga.
Like, but that's someone you're... Okay.
She's dating.
Can I just finish my point?
She's not even dating him, technically.
You're intimate. You're intimate.
She said they've known each other for a year. They slept together 3 times. She's like, they check in with
That's
each other
what
year to year.
friends.
They're basically friends with benefits.
But you're friends, though. You're friends first before the benefit enter the chat. Okay. So if that's your friend, like, oh, do you need anything, like soup, something, like, it's okay. It doesn't have to be someone doesn't have to be like your man or your woman for you to just care about their health and if they need something if they're not feeling well. Like, I don't think that you...
But she did care. That's the thing. Y'all are acting like she like... You're acting like he said it and she like completely changed the subject.
I'm not saying
she literally
that.
said, oh, I am sorry. Like, you're not at your 100%. Are you feeling better with antibiotics?
But I see.
Wish I could give you a hug to help you out.
I'm not... Sis, I'm not trying to assassinate your character. I'm just trying to walk you through his thought process. So I can see how he picked up his phone and went to Twitter, because that's something I probably do.
Same.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like, all right,
and it's not that like
I'm not trying to like shit talk you, but it's just it's just like, okay, like,
I honestly don't think you should take it serious.
Not
Like,
at
it's
all.
not worth a cutoff, because for
Really.
one, like Nikki said, y'all are friends with benefits, so to speak. Y'all are not in a relationship. I don't think it wasn't. It's just I feel like you have to have Twitter to understand the language, bro. Like, you get on Twitter to talk shit.
It's an online journal out
literally
loud
to talk shit. So it's like, it's not. Don't take it personal. Like, my Twitter, like it may or may not be true, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just banter.
It's
like,
just fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's like a fun thing to do.
No,
like,
and the thing is, sometimes it's not even like you might have just inspired a tweet that he already had in mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes it piss me off and I'll be like, man, blase, blase, blase. And it's not specifically about that person, but maybe that instance just reminded me of something I just feel like tweeting. And if that person was to follow me on Twitter, they probably think it's a sub, and it's like, I'm not subbing you at all. It's just like, bro. These are my thoughts. Like, low-key get off my page.
That was a complete sub, so let's call it what it is. that's here or here. But then,
okay, yeah.
So y'all are
if you
telling
go on Twitter, like, you'll see some people.
So
it's not a sub if they're not following you.
But so y'all are telling me that
it's not.
You're gonna allow a man to make you the brunt of a joke for the public to laugh at.
You know how many times a man has been a brunt of my jokes on this podcast?
And then I'm gonna turn around and let him in my vagina.
I mean, no, but at the same
then
time,
don't do that. Then you don't have to do that.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why
she doesn't have to do
and
that.
that is what that is her question.
The brunt of a
is
joke
she
is
tripping?
crazy,
Is she tripping for cutting him off?
I will
think
say
so.
Okay, let me be honest with you. I think that she is semi-tripping, and that's why she's cutting him off. Her feelings are invested.
It's not.
You're tripping.
No, her feelings.
She
are
shouldn't
not,
care that much.
The thing is, her feelings are actually not invested. I think that's the thing. It's like,
care that much.
this is how I look at it. You're not my man.
Okay.
So to cut you off truly is nothing. So the fact that you even felt like you needed to run to Twitter, you could have easily said, you could have responded back to me and be like, now what's a hug gonna do for me? But something like that, like, okay, now let's banter back and forth between us. But to run to Twitter, I'm be honest with y'all, it's like
Twitter is crazy.
But he did. It's like he skipped.
And then I think brunt of the joke is a little bit dramatic.
Yeah,
I don't think
like,
she was the brunt of a freaking
like,
joke, bro.
It's not like he had like 20 tweets about her.
Yeah, like
he just tweeted one thing and was just like that. What I'm saying is that because she's asking if I semi-think you're tripping because the reason why you're cutting off. As a woman, I feel like you care too much, and it's okay. Because I'm not gonna lie, if I read a tweet, I'm not gonna be, I'm cutting it. Why?
Okay,
I'm not. The thing is, you should have just. I'm gonna ask you about it. Hey, I saw your Twitter. And you said this.
No, I don't even think she should
but
do
then
that,
at the same time, you don't want it to know that like you surfed and found his page. Like, so it's kind of like an L you take internally and move past it. Like, I don't think you should like be upset.
Let me be completely honest. I feel like, you know some people be like, oh, I looked through his phone, I see some shit, but I'm not gonna tell him what I saw or I seen. I really don't believe in that because you can't unsee what you saw, right? And you're always gonna act off of what you saw. If you saw, my thing is, it's social media. His page is not private; it's public. So if you saw his tweet and you really even before you even cut him off. Are you tweeting about me? Because somebody sent me a tweet, or this tweet popped up on my timeline. I feel like it's about me, or cut him off because I'm gonna be completely honest. Like if that was me, like knowing me, if I saw a tweet about a nigga I like and he's talking about me, I'm either confronting you or I'm not fucking with you.
Thank you.
You're not laughing at me behind because
you're not laughing at me.
Yeah, I feel like he's making fun of me.
He is. He's making fun. He literally is. He is literally laughing at her.
And it's fine.
She does not like
we
him.
can definitely agree to disagree.
Yeah, we will.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like. Twitter, there is a certain culture on Twitter, and it's literally normal to do stuff like that. So
I don't think that's like, I'm not normalizing.
Well, you're not on Twitter.
I'm not normalizing bullying.
I wouldn't expect you to. That's not bullying. I really wouldn't expect you to. Bullying is crazy. Bullying is crazy. No, but I
agree with her.
That is. You're not on Twitter, Nikki. So it's like a.
But at the same time, because of me, after that moment, for one. I'm gonna second guess everything I tweet you, everything I text you, because for me to text you, do you need a hug? And now you on Twitter talking about what a hug gonna do. Every time I text you, I'm gonna be second guessing, like, is he laughing at me? Only because I saw that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just being honest. Because
so if that's the case, then bring it up to him.
And that's why I don't even date men who are on social media like that. For the fact that you ran to social media over a text is low-key kind of crazy.
Thank you. It's very crazy. It is sassy. And the thing is,
oh my God.
How many times people sub people on close friends on actual IG stories? I don't get it.
Friend.
But who's to say that he has a lot of followers?
But not even just that. It's one of those
How
things.
Did you find his page?
And that's let's
so is
let's
he
go
in your
back.
search?
No, let's go back.
No, y'all waiting.
Let's go back.
Is this a normal pattern of behavior?
But my question is like, y'all are really. That's crazy. I'm gonna start subtweeting y'all.
Don't be like, no. Don't do that. You better ask about me. Don't sub me.
I'm gonna start saying shit. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Can you believe this girl came in here with this pink gloss on, thinking she was the shit?
No, that's talking shit. That's full on talking shit.
Thank you. And I pull up.
You're not on Twitter, so that's not
I'm not going to sit here and be writing and asking if I'm tripping. I'm going to tell you I'm tripping.
No, if he would have said something like, I don't know, there was a lot more direct. Like, I just don't think, I think it was a joke. Like,
that was direct.
No,
like, what's a hug gonna do? Like,
when I say direct, I mean something like, this girl, like, she been texting me all this time. What the fuck? Like, she needs to stop texting me.
Can't
Something
even
like
offer
that.
me super nut. Like, he didn't even end it with that. It was
but
just funny.
I think that it was just a joke, because it's like, damn, what is a hug gonna do? Because it's like, realistically, what is a hug gonna do? Like, it's just jokes to me.
I should let you soak in your misery in your ear.
You don't have to, but for me, I just feel like it's just banter.
Very childish. To be honest with y'all,
but that's why you're not serious with him too, as well. But it's like.
Getting an ear infection at this big age,
and that tells a lot. No,
my mom had an ear infection at her older age, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Different things that led to that.
No, that was weird.
People don't get ear infections like that.
Who said?
When's the last time y'all had one?
It doesn't matter. I just told you.
When's the last time you had one?
An older age.
Ear infection.
I had to go to ENT in 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Because I was sick, so it like so yeah.
Okay,
like,
that makes sense. When's the last time you had an ear infection?
But how do we know that situation?
You're trying to justify a crazy statement.
Y'all are trying to justify him subtweeting and being sassy.
No, that's apples and oranges now. So I'm just saying, like I said, I will stand by my answer. I think you're semi-tripping.
Can I just say something? Okay, so say you personally, you text a guy and you're like,
hey, the man you're sleeping with. It's crazy.
Yeah, you slept. This man's been inside your vagina. That's crazy.
I'm like,
but that's besides the point. You text this guy and you're like, hey, how are you doing? He's like, hey, I'm doing fine. But I got into a car accident yesterday. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, can I come over and make you feel better? And he's like, no, I'm good. I just need some time alone. And then you see on his Instagram, he posted a story type of stuff. Bitches always try to come over. Like, I'm going through some shit. I don't got time for that. Would you feel any kind of way?
That's literally not what he did. So I don't like.
But the thing is, but you're
for people who are listening, Paulette picked up her phone and she's calling that nigga. But like I'm saying,
but I'm not. There's no question of am I tripping or not. Like, if I'm actively in the moment tripping, I'm gonna address it. Okay, but you're not. Okay. I don't want her to think that it's negative to be tripping and it's positive not to be tripping. I'm just saying, like, it's okay to be tripping about it. But I feel like you should have said something to him. Like, I personally, be honest, like, if you saw that and a part of you's like, why would he say that? Okay, there's nothing to text back like, hey, I saw your Twitter and you said this. There's nothing to do wrong doing that.
But to me, because I think we're like losing the meaning of the word tripping. I feel like in this sense, when she says, am I tripping? She means like, am I in the wrong for feeling some kind of way about this?
Exactly.
That's what she really means.
I didn't take it like that.
So am I tripping is like, am I tripping for feeling this way?
I don't think you're wrong for feeling that way. I don't think you're wrong. I'm just saying, I do think you're semi-tripping because it is Twitter. Like what Crystal said. Like, deep. I just sometimes feel like, because I've been in situations where I took a situation way too literal or personal. And it's like, it's just Twitter.
It's not that deep.
It's not like he went and like made it like, let me be honest with you, like, it's just Twitter.
And you know the crazy part
is,
is,
always ask someone about it and he can delete it.
You know how I think about it? You're right. It's not so deep to the point that you actually even have to go to Twitter and tweet that. And that's how I think about it.
But it's like, oh my God, you know
that's just me being honest. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep to where you even have to go and put that into 140 characters.
But sometimes
like, that's how I look at it. It's like,
yeah, but
sometimes
I think
it
also
is.
okay.
Now he deepened it.
Even with TikTok, you know how people just you make a TikTok out of something that's like, damn, like it's not that deep. It's just
funny and relatable.
Funny and relatable.
Or like oh God, like great example.
Like, it's just funny.
People,
I disagree.
No,
because someone made a TikTok
about you.
No, people. Someone made a TikTok and people took it personal. Like we talked about it on this podcast.
No,
we talked about it on this podcast where someone made it.
What our example was, I took from there is reposting things. Like someone posts, like, for example, man, F this. It's a situation that matches what you're going through right now, and you just repost it, and someone's like, oh, you're reposting this type. It's like, dang, it's social media. Let my content be content. Like, whoa. So we policing what people repost and like, and what they type. We policing that now? Like, come on.
But I will say that, lately, because of the way Twitter is set up, sometimes it's just like you just dropping bars. So that's really just what it is. And sometimes, because like sometimes somebody could piss me off, and I'm not even tweeting about you, but maybe in my head I'm thinking like, damn, like you be trying to get a word out. People always feel like they know something, and you just tweet that, and it's not really about that situation, but it's just like how you feeling at the time, and like 5 minutes from that, you're not even gonna remember that you even tweeted that, but it's like an open journal. That's what Twitter is.
Yeah, literally.
So maybe that's how you felt. So maybe she could approach it in a sense where it's just like, you know what, like, I know I said you needed a hug, but if you needed something deeper, if it's something you needed from me, like, you know, let me know. Because I was really just joking.
But what if he wasn't, okay, if he wasn't expecting anything, because realistically, what can she do for an ear infection? Nothing. So the hug, you telling me, it's just funny to me. Like, if you told me, okay, let me offer you a hug, I would laugh about it. But and I probably would send a tweet like, yeah, Because it's like, realistically, you can't do nothing for me. So I'm not expecting anything out of you. I don't want you to come and offer me super medication, or I would have said that. True. It's just banter to me. So I don't feel like you're wrong for tripping. I don't feel like you're wrong for cut. I just feel like it's just don't take it. It's not that deep. To me, it's not that deep. However, let's also take it back. You stalking his Twitter, girl. Like, that is the worst social media to stalk for somebody.
Yeah,
like, the worst. I feel like once you stalking Twitter, you too deep. Like, you're way in, sister. And he don't even know that you have his Twitter.
And then everything, then you start reading stuff, everything applies to you.
Everything applies to you. Like, no. Like,
just go ahead and delete that out your search history.
Stop doing it. And the thing is, it's probably going to take you a while, but like, just start weaning yourself out because it becomes addictive.
It does. Because it stays there and it's like, okay.
Let me see what he's thinking now.
Refresh. Like, let's not. And then you start looking at the interact. Like,
yeah, no, sister.
Just let social media be social media.
Too deep in, yeah.
And also, when we're joking, just let it be the joke, because I feel like you made a joke and he took it as a joke, and then he made a joke off of that, and now you're mad that he's not taking you seriously. But you was joking when you said, does he need a hug? Because a hug was not gonna fix his ear infection, sis. You knew that. You knew that.
You like, you know,
she said she was being sincere.
Anyways, like
we already answered.
She said she was being sincere. She literally said that.
But you knew a hug was not going to help his ear infection or make him feel better. So
BFFR.
Yeah. So I mean, respectfully, sister, we love you.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into our petty chronicle and.
But girl, just know that, like, you know,
damn,
you good.
But no, thank you for writing in. Honestly, like,
no, for sure.
We keep it real 100 over here. So we love that you wrote it.
They're real 100.
We hope
I'm with you, girl.
We hope that
I'm with you too.
We hope that you took everything we said and just applied to your situation. Do what you want to do, but always choose yourself first.
Choose yourself, and stop stalking social media pages.
Please, that part. All right, y'all. So this petty chronicle, it's gonna be kind of like, I need to know advice on if I'm going to be petty for what I'm about to do. All right, so I think I talked about on this podcast, I recently got into online dating. It's my first time really doing it, and it's been interesting, a little overwhelming, but you know, we're doing it. So I met up with a guy recently for a date, and we had actually planned to go on a date the following day, but then I realized my schedule wasn't going to work out. So I was like, I kind of hit him up randomly, like, hey, like, I have some free time. Like, do you mind meeting up? And he was like, cool. So we met up. We had drinks. We had a great time. Like, and we ended up like going, kind of like hopping around to like a couple different spots that night. Great time, y'all. So I was at work recently, and there, of course, we all know about this infamous Facebook page where you're able to find out information about people. So I just typed in his name. Didn't think anything of it.
In the Facebook page?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't think anything of it. Didn't think I was even going to see anything because I've never seen anyone on there that I have been romantically involved with. Which we're not romantically involved, but getting to know. And sure enough, his picture popped up.
Jesus.
And he had a few comments underneath there. And it basically just talked about how, you know, he's kind of a player. He doesn't engage in safe sex. There was a lot of different things in there in that regards. So in my head, I'm like, okay. And this is actually a recent post. It was from earlier this year. So very relevant. So in my head, I'm like, ooh, what do I do? Because, I mean, it's online dating. Naturally, people are going to date multiple people. So you really can't expect like monogamy out of someone you just met.
Right.
But at the same time, like, do I take that like as like a foreshadow to what could possibly happen between him and I? Like, who am I to say like I'm going to be any different than these other women that he has tried to date in the past? So for me, I was just thinking like, I'm just going to ghost him because he has been very consistent in my phone, checking up on me. And we actually have plans to see each other again this week. But am I petty if I just like ghost him?
Yes. Yeah. I would say like maybe just like find a way. This is not working for me. It's okay. At any moment, if something's not working for you, you can always let someone know. Hey, this is not really working for me.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
And maybe the things that you saw, obviously, like what you said was, did you see any other like red flags, or were they all like yellow? Like,
well, the red flag was that like him engaging in unsafe sex, and I think that he might have transferred something.
Okay, because Loki, why would you say that in the chat? Unless, yeah.
Right. I feel like after you read something like that, you can just say like,
just tell him.
Yeah,
just
or tell him
about the.
No, just tell him like I just don't really think this is working.
It's not working for me. Yeah. And like if he asked, like I'm just not in the space.
Especially because it was recent. If it was like years ago, I'd like fill him out.
Year.
Like that was this year, and we're only 7 months in.
And like I'll be real with y'all. I don't know if me personally, I don't know if I could like move forward with someone that's in like a forum like that.
Yeah.
Just make it to a forum like that, and there's banter underneath your picture. Lets me know something's happened with you and these people.
Yeah, especially because it's recent.
Yeah, and I don't want to be part of their banter. I don't want to join them.
There was like over 30 comments.
Yeah, I don't want to be able to relate. No. Y'all should not be able to say nothing about the no nigga I'm dating.
Let me tell you something. Only way you'll get past that. I've seen people post a picture and like, oh my gosh, a great guy, this and that, like positive things. But if people have stories, listen, I'm okay because I don't like shame. So like,
I think you should just mention it's like, I don't think it's working out. I mean, y'all met online, so it wouldn't be a big deal.
It can just
practice letting people down, bro.
Yeah, and it's okay.
That.
Like
this is not gonna be your first time.
Like I think too, in this,
I mean, no shade at all.
Yeah, like I think like there's nothing wrong even if you want to move forward or not. But also, I kind of agree with Crystal. Like practicing. Like it's okay if something doesn't agree with your spirit. Learning to let it go. Like it's okay. Like it just is not for me.
Because that's what I had to think about. I was like, I've actually never gone on here and like search someone. So the fact that
you for doing your due diligence, first of all, because I would have never thought of that. Like what? Which I don't even know that page.
But the thing is, the reason why I probably never did it before was because I actually never met anyone online. Like so, like all of the relationships I have been with, people I've been with, have been organically. Like me meeting them out. So I just never thought like, hey, I met you online, so clearly you be interacting with other people. But since I did meet him online, I was thinking like, okay, well. Makes sense, right? Like this is actually like what the page is for. And so I was just so shocked. Like,
see, I'm scared because I don't know, something about me, like ignorance is truly bliss for me. Only because I feel like what reviews are you really gonna get from an ex? If you really think about
that's
it.
another thing.
But they're not exes.
But
I mean, technically, I feel like they're not with. If that person was so good to them, they would still be together, right?
But you know what the crazy part is that sometimes you will actually like see some people posted on there because it comes across on my timeline, and people are like, "He's a great guy. I went to high school with him. I know his family. I live next to him."
No, I was saying people like post positive things.
People
like,
actually post
okay
a lot of people will literally post and
but
be
those aren't exes. Those are like family members.
No, but it'd be
like
people
there are
like
people on there that actually will go like
on a date with them.
Like if a girl posts a picture, like say if a girl met a guy, she's like, "I really like this guy. Is there any teases?" And girls will go like, "No." Or I know this person, like they're good, like they come from a good. There are girls that will uplift someone.
Even
like,
someone,
I know them.
and even people will be underneath the comments like, "Oh yeah, like I went on a date with him. Things just didn't work between us, but he seemed like a good guy. You should go for it." Like so,
yeah. So not people tearing you down to like.
I mean,
make
I'm not gonna lie. I still stand by what I said. I mean,
feel you.
I do understand the nature of the page, and in this situation, it's very unique. So, still, like, definitely red flag. But I still don't think that a review from an ex is like a credible opinion to me.
That's true. But I also feel like because I was gonna say like that's why I asked you about like the red and yellow flags. So I'm like maybe y'all can move past it. But I feel like Michelle said, not everybody. There's some of my ex who probably tell you I'm the worst person in the world, and I'm not. So. But it's just the fact, it's the nature of what you saw. And I feel like because there was 30 comments, like multiple girls, like I think like all them girls is not lying. Yeah. So and I feel like it would maybe look pastable if it was years ago. Yeah. The fact that it was this year to me just says like,
he's out here.
Like, and on top of that, like I didn't even add this. Like
you gonna be the 31st comment.
He's only been living in Dallas less than 2 years.
No, and you're already on a forum?
Yeah. You outside.
Oh, you've been having a ball.
You outside, my boy?
He's been balling.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be a part of that banter. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, like, do what you like to do, you know, but.
Shut up, Paulette.
No, honestly, because I think that do what you like to do. Hey, but yeah, for me personally, that would be an extreme halt for me.
Not gonna lie.
Okay. Thank y'all. Thanks, Petty Party, for the advice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know, because I literally had to think, I'm like, dang, some people out there will probably not say, actually not all of them, but probably just one person. It only takes one person to really go in there and just be like, she was a bitch and she did this, da. But at the same time, I'm just like,
no. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I feel like, I'm just kidding.
You gonna say all
you feel like
you?
what?
They all love you?
They all love you, man.
No, they do. The thing is, you still want to be back.
Yeah,
so I like you can say all that, and like, but I know.
And they saying that it's because they know they're trying to make sure that nobody else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So literally, I'm like, I know that if you would tell the story, I'm the villain. I literally,
and it's okay.
But
so I could be a Corella in everyone's story. I don't care.
Talking about past reviews, I don't know if y'all recently seen like this tweet going around.
Oh yeah.
Even though I'm not a part of, I have Twitter X.
I actually have the tweet,
but
no, it's X. It's not Twitter. It's X.
It's Twitter.
It's
Twitter.
It's Twitter.
Whatever it is. Okay, so there's a tweet going around, and it recently said, "My friend likes this girl, but won't get serious with her because she talked to his friend 10 years ago, laughing my ass off. That's exactly why y'all won't find love. Get a grip. OMG." So my question to y'all, like, is it okay to date someone that your friend dated 10 plus years ago?
10 years ago, honestly, I feel her on Get a Grip. That's a long, like, I think 10 years ago was 2014.
But that sounds like
that's college.
But that sounds like a guy saying that they won't take a girl. I mean, you know how men are. Men do not play that.
But actually, men don't. Men don't care about that. I think it's more so women. Women are more so the ones that hold to these standards of, I'm not going to date someone who has been with my friend. Men don't care. I'll be honest with y'all. Men have married women that have slept with people that they know on multiple occasions.
If a guy will not marry a woman that slept with his best friend, they're not going to marry her.
Best friend is different than friend.
But still, I'm just talking about, like, that has to be his guy for them to say, like, you know, I'm not going to. Like, no. Why would I? I'm not going to, you know, but for a woman's standpoint, 10 years is actually like,
you know what? So my question, okay, so
strangers.
As far as like, so would you date somebody who your friend dated 10 years ago? When I say date, I don't mean like boyfriend and girlfriend. We're not talking about relationship. We're talking about talking stage. 10 years ago, 2014.
Like hello stage, how are you? Texty.
No, like maybe they had sex, but they never were official as far as like boyfriend.
I actually would. Like, I'll be honest with you. So it depends on, for me, like, it depends on like what group of friends it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, for y'all, No, because that would just be really, really awkward. But for someone that like it's just an acquaintance that I might just say hi to, like whenever we're cordial, like when we see each other out, we might interact with each other on like social media and stuff like that. Am I now gonna stop myself from dating this person? And usually how you find out about that is like you actually didn't even know that they had any dealings with that person. It's not until like something maybe coincidental, maybe y'all are out together and you see that person and then that kind of gets brought up. But is it going to be a thing where like I'm knowingly going into this relationship or getting to know this person like, hey, I know you slept with X, Y, and Z? Probably not. But like if I find out later on, that's not going to stop me.
Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, right. If y'all slept each other, cool. But everyone has untouchables.
Yeah. I was going to say this.
Everyone has untouchables. And I have untouchables. And everyone that knows me knows my untouchables. If you cross my boundary with my untouchable, that means we're not ever gonna be friends again. And I hate to be that person.
I don't think y'all were even friends. No, the fact that y'all can even go for it untouchable, I think that doesn't make y'all even friends. I'll be honest.
If y'all didn't make it to marriage, it's cool. But like, I'm just saying, like, if it was me, if someone crossed the boundary talking to my untouchable, like, I don't believe in women should stop being friends over men because, guys, let's stand up. But that's an untouchable. That's a no-no.
But then let me ask y'all this:
you hate me.
What if your friend has 100 untouchables? What if you're
no, there's no way.
But no, you know what's crazy? There has to be
hand-picked, well-crafted individuals. They're not everybody.
No, because there are some people who they have ownership over everybody.
No way. Like there's no way.
If they have their number,
there's no way.
Then it's ownership.
You're stupid. No, untouchable. There's rules to being an untouchable.
So what are the rules?
Okay.
Glad you asked.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, getting a number is bare minimum. If we've shared any type of hardship together, that's an untouchable. If we've dated or like, we had sex, he was around my friends and everything. Like we had, like y'all could tell, like we had a very deeply rooted connection. That is an untouchable. If I just got your number and we just texted, that is not an untouchable. You have to go through something. See, I'm not gonna lie.
I kind of disagree. I'm not gonna lie. If a guy just gets my number and then you get his number, that to me that's weird to me though. Because why are you getting numbers right from behind me?
But no, not right behind you.
Let's be in solidarity and but like not let a nigga play us.
Imagine this is like 10 years, like what they're saying, and you just got their number. Like that's not an untouchable.
10 years ago, okay,
that's fair game. Okay. But like I said, that's the rules to an untouchable. Like if you went through something like strenuous with this person, that's an untouchable.
No. I'm sorry. You know what I think an untouchable is?
What?
If I have cried to you about this person.
No, because some people just be crying for people that don't deserve tears.
I don't think that people just be crying over anybody.
No, girls do. But some girls cry over, and some men cry over everybody too.
But
that's not untouchable.
I don't think so.
But sometimes I don't even need to cry about them. Okay, this is how I feel. I think
I think that anyone that can take you out of like your like homeostasis, like state of like well-being, like just like take you out of your bubble, someone who's able to get to you enough, that's someone that when you say
get to you in what capacity? Sorry, explain that.
Anyone that can throw off your day.
Like that's not an untouchable. That's toxic. He should be fair game. Like that's not an untouchable. Take him from me. I don't want him in my back. I don't want him in my back.
Not anyone like that. But like you said, like if you can go through a hardship with somebody. Yeah. Someone that is like you've seen it, like
Black
you've
been through trauma. What is the obsession?
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm just saying like what kind? Like, see, I didn't specify hardship. I didn't specify that. See, if you start saying like he was beaten on,
no, Paulette, okay, that's different.
Because like not, and
why would you want to date him?
It's not even that. It's just like y'all really like, for example, like. There are people I've been with, like, we went through some, like, stuff that it doesn't have to always be negative. Like, we
got her pregnant.
So let me.
Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, that is
that's, come on. Okay, so let me ask.
Yeah, like, low
like
key,
somebody's got somebody pregnant.
That's an immediate untouchable.
If she got the baby or not, that ain't.
That's
let me ask y'all.
You a baby mama regardless.
No, in spirit.
That's your baby daddy. That's
no, for real. That's my baby daddy. You just dodged the bullet. You just dodged the bullet.
So let me ask y'all. Okay, so Crystal, I come to you, and let's say you dated someone beginning of college. Y'all had sexual relations, but now I've met him in this present day. And let's say that him and I get to know each other. We meet organically. And he is like, oh, you have a podcast, right? He was like, oh, you're on the podcast with so-and-so. I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, that's one of my good friends. He was like, oh, well, I just want to let you know, like, her and I, we did used to date, talk to each other in the past. It never got past X, Y, and Z, but we were sexual with each other. And so let's say I'm feeling him. Like, we've got this at this point, he's telling me this, maybe it's like 4 dates in. I like him. I come to you and I say, hey, Crystal, like, I've met this guy. He's told me about y'all's past. Like, are you cool if I move forward? Or like, how do you feel about him and I getting to know each other?
What was the nature of our relationship? It was just sexual?
No,
sexual thing?
Let's say that it was a college relationship. Maybe y'all dealt with each other for 6 months.
Is that untouchable if your friend didn't even know about him? That's another rule.
I don't know.
No one knows about you.
You have to be a little bit more vague than date for just like, were we in a relationship for like?
With college relationships, y'all just
that's what I said. College, LOL. That's
like beginning of college. Like y'all.
Did she like him a lot? You liked him a lot, but it fizzled out fast.
It fizzled like maybe just like y'all like like y'all would hang out. Y'all had sex. Maybe like in that 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
Let's say y'all had sex 3 times.
Yeah, and would I be upset? Probably not, because like there's untouchables. If he's not an untouchable in my head, then like go for it.
But would you like? Let's say would you feel some type of way?
No, if I gave you the go, if I gave you the go ahead, I would not care. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I dead ass wouldn't care.
I'll be honest with you. And I've been in a similar situation like that, and it was weird because it's like, bro, like. What? You really think you really have to ask behind college? That's a different world. I'm not even college anymore. I'm not even that person. Like I was rowdy in college. Like did not take anyone or anything serious because if I did, they'd be here. You know what I'm saying? And like I remember like this person like told me that the person told them information about us when we were dealing, and I was like. It was never that deep. So I just wanted to ask because he felt the need to like share that with him. I'm like, yeah. In my mind, I'm over here thinking, if you was a solid one, you just stop fucking with him all the way because that's weird. But 2, I was just like, I told her
like, why would you feel weird towards a girl?
No,
she's not
I'm
solid?
not feeling weird. However, personally, me, if someone shares something like that with me, I'm not dealing with you anymore. That's weird. Like, I just feel like going out your way to tell me something like that is unnecessary. Like, y'all are not dealing with each other. I don't know you. I don't need to know that. There's some things like I feel like you don't gotta tell people.
But the crazy part,
you don't have to.
So I think I'm the opposite. I would rather someone come to me and tell me than me find out from around the way. Like then, like for me to get information left field, then I'm gonna be looking at you like, oh, so you think you were doing something wrong and now I'm gonna feel slighted. Whereas if you had just come to me and talked to me about it and I had given you my honest opinion, and if my honest opinion was like, hey, like actually I'm not comfortable with it, but you still decide to go forward, that's on you. Or hey, I have no issue with it, whatever the case might be, but like don't let me find out from an extra.
Like Crystal, your friend is coming to you about a guy from college that y'all were whatever with. And they're over here telling intel like about you to you. And it's like, I mean, if you, like I say about my statement, if you're a real solid person, you would not talk to that person anymore because that's like me dating someone that used to date Crystal way back when. Oh yeah, me and Crystal were this. We used to do X, Y, and Z. Why are you telling me that? You think I'm gonna talk to you? I don't even need to tell Crystal that because I'm not gonna talk to you. Like that's it. I feel that's that. It. Like that's to me. I feel like that's weird. That's when it gets weird. But me personally, like. I'm not gonna feel away, but I think it is weird when people do that. Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, I that's what I'm saying. I'm really trying to take like my personal self out of this because I don't care how long it's been. I don't think I would date anybody that y'all have dated. Like,
I feel you.
Just that's just it. That's why I'm like, I'm trying to take myself out of the situation. I can't see it. I can't see it for myself. Like, I just don't.
But the thing is, because like, I'll be real with you. Like this group, we haven't really been like that, and like we've been in like. Relationships that are like lengthy and it's like we don't have a million untouchables but we know who's off limits no matter what.
You know, I think I agree because for me it's just like I think it would be a hard case to argue because it's just like okay, you're coming in and asking me about this nigga, but it's like, damn, out of all the niggas, like, I feel like my niggas be so out the way. It's like, damn, you would have found him.
How did you searched through my black book? Yeah. Went to the back page and said him.
Yeah, not only you went and found him, but it's like more than likely, it's like they were linked, and it's just like, damn, I would find it kind of odd. Now, I may give my blessing, but I would just rather have the conversation first. But I think in the back of my head, it would just be odd because it's just like, damn, like. When I say niggas is out the way, like they're so out the way that you went.
Yeah, like how did you come up on them? Like Because I don't even know how I stumbled on them. So how did you?
But outside of that, I do think that the idea of like, I also don't have a lot of untouchables. I think like my list of untouchables probably like 6. So it's like
not even.
I
2.
Yeah, I'm
actually,
like maybe.
I really just have 2. Actually 1. The one I got 2.
I have like
2.
I have like 4.
I got name 5.
I have 2.
I have like 4 or 5.
Don't ever insult me on that type of level.
For each of us,
I have 2.
Yeah. Well,
Michelle, 5.
For each of us,
I can name 5 for you for
No,
sure.
you can't have 5.
Okay, okay, Crystal.
Wait, who?
I could probably name 3 for
Crystal's
you.
probably the only one that
I can
can't
name
name
3 for
5.
You can name 5 for me, Paulette.
Yes.
You want me to name it on the poll?
Michelle.
Paulette, you can name 10 for yourself.
There's no way.
Paulette.
Untouchables?
Paulette be acting like
Michelle.
Paulette thinks she don't care until she cares.
No, that's not.
Paulette.
Don't do me like that. Like, don't do that because y'all know, y'all already know who I'm gonna put a little stick out behind. So, like, stop playing.
All right, y'all. So recently, within the last week, well, by the time this episode comes out, probably be about a week and a half now. No, when it was it on Sunday that this was announced?
Are you talking about Biden dropping out?
Yes. Was this last Sunday?
It's okay. Just,
this past Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday.
It was Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
No, it wasn't.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
the previous Sunday.
previous
Sunday.
Oh, okay. All right. So it'll be about a week and a half by the time this episode drops. But it was announced that Biden has decided to drop out of the race for Democratic, being the Democratic candidate, but he will continue out his presidency term until November. So whenever he dropped out, at first, his first statement, it just talked about him like, due to whatever reasons he has, he decided to drop. And then later on, it came out that he decided to endorse Kamala Harris, which is his VP currently. So I want to know how y'all feel about now Kamala, because after Biden dropped out and he endorsed him, there have now been a lot of people coming out endorsing Kamala, which more so recently Obama endorsed her for the Democratic.
But honestly,
for the Democratic candidate.
Y'all?
No.
Like, are we shocked?
I
think
feel like
this
this
was
has
a
been the
plan
plan
from
This
jump.
has been the plan. Biden knew he was not.
No,
going
not
to
only
November.
that, like, respectfully, and
it's
not
okay.
even because I'm not trying to even discredit a black woman, but like, do I feel like Kamala could have been up there without Biden? No. Like, I absolutely don't.
Black.
Like,
I mean, did she try to run initially? And
Yeah,
she ended up his running mate. So
yeah, so that's what I'm like. I don't feel like
he had to force it. Like that was the only way. And honestly, I have to clap to Biden for that. That was a great power move.
Yeah, endorsing her, yes. But let's talk about his dropout. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it was very disappointing just because, like, it's like Biden. The reason why I feel like he dropped out is because, like,
he was forced to.
Yeah, he was forced to. Not only that, he's up there in age. Like, I think he knows that, like, for him to be up there, not even up there, because Trump is only a couple years younger, like 2-3 years.
I think,
but I think that, like, we all have seen videos of Biden. We all have seen, like, he's not all the way there.
If Biden made it through his end of his term, he'd be 86.
And I don't think he was the mental capacity. I don't feel like it's there. Like, he's respectfully deteriorating as an old man. Like, he's had COVID 3 times this year. Like, and each time that shit will take you out harder and harder and harder. So I don't feel like I think he knew, like, but I feel like at the same time, he was just like, dang, like, I'm not finna let Trump beat me. I feel like the reason why he stayed in the race was because of ego. And that's what is annoying to me, is because, like, you wasted the time of so many people who were actually rooting for you despite knowing that you were not capable of doing it. And it's just like, well, you knew before you hopped in this race.
But I feel but people really rooting for Biden in the end, girl.
It's not that people were rooting for Biden. People were against Trump so much to the point where they were gonna vote for Biden regardless if he was in a wheelchair.
Some people weren't gonna vote for him because they felt like he just was not all the way there anymore.
A lot of people were gonna vote against Trump. That's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he had a lot of support, knowing that it's because, like, people don't want Trump in office. Not a lot of people, because Trump still has a big support system. What I'm saying is that he knew that, like, look, I am not capable. I just think he knew that he still just decided, like, he did. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I feel like it was disappointing, because you wasted time.
I can understand why you were disappointed.
Before that presidential debate.
I understand.
Yeah, I understand it. I feel like he should have dropped out before he hopped in this race.
But that's the thing, like,
it was ego.
No,
I don't even know if it was ego. I feel like it might have been, like, more strategy, because I think that he does understand that, like you said, like, trying to find somebody in his place and trying to, like, figure out the nomination, that whole rat race, it would have gave Trump an opportunity to have the lead, because you have to understand, like, America is, like, they are for a double repeat president. They want a president to go 4 years, 8 terms. Every single time a president has ever besides Trump, they've always got that second-term election.
Absolutely.
So he understood that him going through it was the easiest way, as instead of putting someone up against Trump again. So he knew if he went all the way through, dropped out just in time to elect and endorse Kamala in his place, it just gave Kamala like
the leg up.
And
shout out to strategy. Shout out to strategy.
And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like, as I said, claps for y'all.
And not only just that, so when you look at it, so when you look at some of the candidates that we had for the Democratic Party, they weren't really favorable. So I think that that's the reason why he did what he had to do. And then also he did what he had to do. Like, I think, quite frankly, for the greater good of the people. To be honest with you, like, that's whatever you look at it, it's like he probably knew that he physically wasn't up for it, but he was still willing to try for the greater good. So that way we did not have possibly Trump in the presidency.
Okay, so if I'm looking at it from a strategic point of view, kudos. Actually, you did your big one. Yeah. But again, without looking at, like, you know, deeping into that, I do feel like, damn, like, you actually wasted people's time knowing that you weren't able to do this. So that's why I just was like, what the fuck? Like, people were actually rooting for you. And it's just like, you knew all along, everything that we said was true. Like, you're not able to do this because you're not, you know, within age of capability.
I'm just ready for it. Like, all I'm ready for is the next debate. And whenever
me too.
Absolutely. And she's gonna run
I'm ready.
Circles. She's gonna run
a watch party.
Circles.
Oh my god,
circles around that man. Like,
laps.
And while we're on it, because what I'm really not liking is people who, for one, are coming out and saying, what is Kamala Harris and his vice president? For one, y'all didn't act that when Mike Pence, who, by the way, already came out and spoke out against Trump.
Spoke out Donald Trump. Actually, let's talk about it. 40 out of his 44 cabinets. So people that sat on his presidency term that he appointed refused to endorse Trump for this next presidency, including his vice president.
Yeah.
And so let's not even forget that his current vice president that he is running with, Vance, was
also
anti-Trump.
spoke out against Trump. So it was just like, come on, like, literally it's on record talking against Trump. But yeah, let's talk about Kamala, because what I do not like is this narrative that Kamala Harris has been absent during her term, that she hasn't done anything during her vice presidency candidacy. Are y'all forgetting that Kamala Harris is a black woman? So for y'all to sit here and act like you are shocked that the media refuses to cover what a black woman is doing while she's vice president is shocking to me. Y'all can literally go look up, and Kamala Harris has broke the most amount of ties in Congress of any vice president in history.
Yes, she did.
In history. Kamala Harris, when we talk about maternal mortality rates and how that affects black women, she actually has set forth so many campaigns. She actually put in policies in hospitals that it's like a certain marker you have to have, and if you meet all these requirements that you get this marker, which means that you are doing things that, you know, can help counter effect, I hope I'm saying this right, like maternal mortality, all that stuff. Like she's done
Juneteenth
so
then
much.
Is a holiday.
She's actually done so much, and it's just like I actually like implore y'all to. I know it's not a source that everyone likes to look at. Go to the WhiteHouse.gov and look at what all that Kamala Harris has done during her term. She's done probably the most that any VP has ever done. Like, I mean, no shade to other VPs, but like, no one talks about like what other VPs are doing. But Kamala Harris is
now
actually
all of a sudden, like, you're spotlighting.
She's actually done a lot. But you know what I mean?
And I think this also speaks to the fact that it's like, it's so sad because, and it speaks, and this right here, it coincides directly with how what black women have to do in corporate America. It's like, now, whenever you are put in the position to possibly lead, now everything is questioned on what you haven't done, what you could do. And it's like your qualifications. And it's like, it's so crazy. Like the fact that we have even allowed, like the fact that Trump is even on camera calling Kamala a bitch.
That man is just,
and we just act like, what did he say the other day in his speech? She's a bum. You called a woman who has a degree that you can't even obtain.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
You're a convicted felon.
And she's not.
She was putting felons behind bars. You know what I'm saying? So
people
it's like
you.
Thank you. People like you. So it's so crazy to me, but you, as unfortunately a white man, feel like you have the decorum and you have the accolades to call her a bum. It's the craziest thing to me.
That's all he can say, because he can't speak. And he can't speak about Kamala in any other way.
Which is why he won't debate her.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
he's running from it. I'm like,
Donald Trump is in for a rude awakening.
And while we're here, I just want to clear one more thing that y'all keep getting fucking wrong. Y'all keep saying, for one, first of all, y'all get mad parents getting locked up for truancy. These kids need to go to fucking school. So let's start there. Yeah. But on top of that, I keep saying she locked up thousands of African Americans. She didn't. Nope. The number of people who she actually put in jail was 45. We don't even have the percentage of how much of those people were actually, what race they actually were. So for how 45 people that she ended up sending to jail turned into thousands of dollars, thousands of people, you actually need to do some research as to where you're getting information from. Secondly, she actually came out with a program to help rehabilitate people who have had like nonviolent and drug crime. So it's like she's actually done stuff that to help our communities. You cannot always listen to these Republican media websites because they are going to purposely feed you misinformation.
And not even just that, she actually voted against the third strike law, which was in California, which we all know was whenever, even it doesn't matter what crime you do,
after you get your
third strike, you're like now in prison for life.
Yeah.
She spoke out against that. She ran against that. Like her whole campaign as Attorney General was against that. Like, so it's like, what is it? Yeah.
And the last nail in the coffin, because y'all keep talking about Palestine, Kamala Harris actually called for a ceasefire, and Donald Trump wanted Israel to quote unquote finish the job. So if we're gonna even talk about that, there's that. So I just really need y'all to make sure that y'all are actually doing your research, that it's outside of 30-second video clips. Y'all need to actually make sure that you are informed, because a lot of y'all are entering into conversation that y'all have no capacity to even be able to understand or to spread information on. So just make sure that when you are voting, you're not voting based off articles and article titles. You're not voting based off what someone told you. You're actually basing off the policy that you believe in and the information that you've read and you've understood.
The whole prosecutor thing to me is like, it's a low hanging fruit.
Literally her job.
Because it's her job. I'm like, what did y'all want her to do? Give people lollipops? Like she's a prosecutor.
Send them to jail for violating the rules. Like,
somebody got to do it.
I have a question. How do y'all feel about Candace Owens? Like, it's so crazy. Like,
girl.
I feel like saying
her saying that Kamala stepped her way to the top.
I was like, bro, I am sick and tired of seeing a black
white man to get a title.
No, but it's like seeing like, why do we do that? Black women, why do we do that?
But not only that, it's like, so y'all care if Kamala Harris sleeps her way to the top, but Donald Trump can pay off sex workers and do all kinds of shit, and that means nothing. It's kind of just like, at what point, where do we draw the line as far as like where we care about personal morals and values? Donald Trump is a convicted felon.
Thank you. But I'm just saying, it was just disappointing to hear all the things Candace Owens was spewing out. I was like, Candace, like, I sometimes like, but no, I'm just saying, like, I'm just not gonna lie, like, to sit this one out, like.
Girl,
it's her bread and butter.
It's crazy.
Literally.
The thing about Candace Owens is she's actually like, she's an intelligent woman. Like she's a smart girl.
She's very intelligent.
And I do feel like a lot of the things she does, like, it's just talking points. Because I remember I watched her,
and she's baiting people too. She's saying that what she's saying that Democrats are doing to people of color, she's doing that to the world.
And
like, so what do you mean?
Like, that's such a Republican talking point, because it's so crazy. I hate when people say things like that. Like, oh my gosh, like the Democrats want this for black people. The Democrats want, and it's just like, okay, but you as Republicans, y'all want to take away government assistance. Y'all want to slash SNAP. Y'all want to slash benefits. So I was like, when you're saying about how like, oh, y'all want this, y'all want to take away affirmative action. Y'all want to take away DEI. Like, y'all want to take away things that directly affect like people of color, and then you want to claim that the Democrats are doing that too. So what policies do the Democrats have that directly affect people of color? Please quickly tell me, because it's like we haven't seen them yet.
No.
I just think it's so funny. It's actually very funny because, like, literally when we talk about politics, it's so ghetto, right? But then when the Olympics come along, it's like, USA. USA. USA.
Red, white, blue.
Literally, like, niggas be bleeding red, white, blue.
Like, colors don't run, bitch.
Yeah.
Bro, like, and the Olympics is here, and I'm not going to lie, like, I don't even know if I'm rooting for USA. I'm rooting for everybody black.
The opening ceremony was so good.
Green, white, green. I didn't watch it. I've been watching clips. Celine Dion
sang the house down, baby.
Gosh, like, and like, I'm happy to see that she's in better spirits. I don't know if y'all got a chance to watch her documentary on Prime. Y'all should take time.
She had a lot of health issues.
Yes, she did.
She has like I forgot the name of the disease, but it like
a pain.
It like tightens up to where it was messing up her voice spot. So she thought she would. They thought she would never be able to sing, but she even said in her documentary, "I'm gonna sing again."
No, like, she sang the house down.
And the fact that she did that, like,
sang the house down.
Yeah.
So wait, I have a question. Oh,
no, go ahead.
Okay, because I'm finna take a left. You want to have one thing you understand?
No, just shout out to all the black girls. You know, the gymnastics team is like they're majority really black, and I love that for that. I saw 4 black girls on that team, and I was like, wow, love that for them.
One thing about us,
and they're taking home goals. They are taking home goals. But anyways, go ahead.
Okay, because the Sonya Massey situation. I feel like we kind of need to speak on it.
I want to talk about that next.
But I do see y'all linked it to Pretty V and Soulja Boy.
I don't know why we did that. I don't know what, because mine just
okay, so I don't know if y'all want to talk about the Sonya situation first.
Yeah, please.
Okay, and then I'll tell you what Pretty V did.
So Sonya Massey was somebody who was shot. She was murdered by a police officer in her own home. She called for help, and when the police officers arrived, she was pretty hesitant to let them in. And finally, they asked for her ID. And when she went inside to get it, they entered into her home. And so as she talked to the police officer, she's still a bit apprehensive. She was even nervous getting off the phone with the dispatcher who was talking to her. And he asked her they're in the living room. He asked her to step into the kitchen to remove the pot from the stove because he didn't want it to start a fire. So she goes which I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I have literally had a pot of boiling water on the stove and fell asleep, woke up. It's just a
dry pot.
Like where's the fire gonna start?
Black inside. That's it.
Yeah. So she goes into the kitchen to remove the pot from the fire, and she notices that he's like looking at her. So when she's asking him pretty much like, "What's your deal?" I'm summarizing. So he's like, "I don't want you to throw this hot water on me." So that's when she's like, "Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." She's joking at the time, thinking that they're both joking back and forth. And he tells her like, "I'll shoot you in the fucking face right now." That's when she's like, what? And she's like, she kind of like apologizes in the moment, and
it's like sitting down on the ground.
Yeah, she goes to like, you know, cower a little bit
because he pulls his gun out, and that's when she's like, "I'm sorry," and like drops she just sits down like, "I need y'all to please get this part right," because AI is out there saying that she threw the pot, nothing was thrown. No. She put her hands in the air and knelt down. Keep going.
Yeah, and that's when he moves forward and he releases 3 shots into her. And
one going to her head.
Another police officer comes and pretty much says like, "We need a med kit." He refuses to give her a med kit. Finally, he does like concede and like brings the med kit, but at that point it's like a little bit too late. You can literally hear her still breathing in the cam as he's saying like, "Oh no, it's a headshot.
Yeah,
she's done.
Like taking.
He's refusing to even like offer medical attention at that point. So that happens, and the police department immediately comes out with a statement saying that they do not agree with the way that he handled that. He's like, he's a police officer. There's protocol that we handle. He did not follow protocol, and they believe that justice will be served. And so they're pretty much agreeing with the fact that it was murder. He was fired. And he was charged.
It's held without bond. It's his 6th police department in 5 years or 4 years. 4 or 5 years.
Afterwards, he showed no remorse. He called her like
crazy
several expletives afterwards. Yeah,
I just like this story is
literally
just,
cold blood.
Yeah, it's a fucked up story. Like, and when come to find out, which I didn't really deep dive into, but she was schizophrenic. So it's like she was experiencing like mental. I don't know. Like
I heard rumors. Of I haven't. That she had some mental illness. The only reason I didn't put that in there was just because it hasn't really been confirmed.
Honestly,
her dad never confirmed that, mom never confirmed that, her son never confirmed that. So I think that's like, I think people are getting that because like
they said she was treated
like
at the
they were
hospital
saying like numbers and what it means, and so I feel like people are just like trying to just like jump to conclusions like, "Oh, she's schizophrenic." No, we don't know that.
But my thing is, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
It really
doesn't.
Honestly, because like
I just like literally no threat. No threat.
No, yeah.
Like,
and allegedly, she was treated at a hospital earlier that day, and the hospital she was treated at, the wife of the police officer works at the hospital. So they're thinking that there might be like a deeper story in there. I just hope that an investigation is done and she does get justice, because the story itself is like really wrong. And the crazy part about it is her nephew actually lost his life to police violence literally earlier this year. So it's just crazy how like we didn't even hear that story of a 4-year-old who lost their life in March of this year. And it takes this story coming out for us to even learn of another story of someone losing their life. Like, so crazy. So, prayers go out to that. And we hope that, justice is served.
Yeah. And also too, guys, stop using this situation for like discourse. There's really nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk. There's nothing to dissect. She didn't do anything wrong. I need y'all to stop coming up with these false narratives because it's disrespectful to not only Sonya Massey, but her family, her son, and the world, and people that look just like her. Let's stop doing that. Because y'all sound so fucking ignorant. And I don't even want to say y'all's name and give y'all light, but y'all know who you are. Please stop. You sound dumb as hell.
The fact that it was reviewed and the police themselves, his own department and district is coming out saying that there is a protocol that we follow, and he was
fired immediately.
Yeah, they were like, there's a protocol we follow. He placed her in a line of danger and then placed himself in a line of danger. And you can't say, oh, I'm trying to eliminate this danger when you created the situation.
Right.
So he was wrong. There was no reason for her to step into the kitchen. And then he himself stepped into the kitchen. So anyone else who's trying to justify that situation at all is crazy. You need to take your ass out of these police officers, like a-hole, and like really understand like that there are some police officers who are not good people. And this man was not a good person. He's a murderer.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
And like, can you imagine like if his partner's body cam wasn't on? They would literally create whatever narrative.
He didn't cut his body cam on until after he shot her.
After his body cam was off
of course he didn't, because he went there with the mission. He didn't go there to be a police officer. He went there to kill somebody. Because I'm not going to lie, it didn't make sense that his body cam was off. It didn't make sense. To this day, it still does not make sense. Why is your partner's cam on, but yours isn't?
So where Pretty V comes in is that she was going, I think it was actually B. Simone. You know, her and B. Simone are friends. And B. Simone did like there was a clip from her podcast where she was just saying like, I've never been to a club and said, turn on that Soulja Boy. And so Soulja Boy, basically, you know how Soulja Boy is. He clapped back at B. Simone, calling her all kinds of bald heads, da-da-da-da. So Pretty V steps in and was just like, hey, you're not going to go, you're not going to talk about my friend. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And so that's when people were just saying like, oh, you were trying to make fun of Sonya to so-and-so. And she did come out and she was just like, I would never do that. Like, I don't understand why y'all, trying to paint this picture and trying to say that I'm trying to make fun of somebody. Like, no, that's not the case. Like, the fact that because he was sick, Soulja Boy was saying some crazy things. She was like, he was saying crazy things and I feel like it was just disrespectful. So I had to, I'm going to take up for my friend. Like, she's like, I feel like that's a spirit. You're calling people out of their name. She's like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And so all the while, I do feel as though like Pretty V isn't it, she's a non-problematic person, so to speak. Like, I don't feel like she intentionally did that, but I do feel like, and she was pushing back on the people that were like upset with her, but I do feel like I don't think it was intentional, but at the same time, I just think it was poor timing. Like, it was just poor timing. It is a common saying that Black people say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, but at the same time, like, it's just poor timing. And like, I just want her, like, let's just accept that. Like, I don't feel like she meant it intentionally. I don't feel like she meant it harmfully. I don't feel like, it could have been an honest mistake. It probably was. But it just was like, you know what? Hey, y'all, bad timing. I think that she should have just said that. But,
I agree. I think it is kind of I think that was kind of a reach. But
I was about to say, like, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like,
I think that was
what, guys? Like,
I do think it's kind of reach, but I do understand with you saying that sometimes it is okay to say, you know what, like, I didn't mean it in that way, but now that I'm seeing like current events, like, honestly, maybe it was poor timing, maybe it was a wrong choice of words, because I can see how these words can trigger somebody. So honestly, like, I apologize. I can see that, but I think that it was intentional and she was even thinking that? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all, because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like even in watching their podcast, I do feel like they've said that a lot on the podcast. Brooke Simone says it a lot. B. Simone says it a lot too. So I don't think she meant it intentionally, but
also too, I do want to say R.I.P. to Shannon Doherty. I think I mispronounced her last name. She was one of the lead characters in Charmed. She passed away with her battle with cancer. And yeah, I had to shout that out because
about 3 weeks.
Yeah, she literally no, last week, last Sunday.
Was it just last Sunday?
And
what was I?
Yeah, no, it's so crazy because like people have been advertising, but not really. And so I just want to say R.I.P. to her. Like, she honestly, like, 90210, Charm, Prue. Remember when Prue died? Like, that was major. But yeah, I did want to talk about how, like, she actually left a list of people that she did not want to attend her funeral. How do y'all feel about that?
That's real.
Like, she even said, like, they
she died. That's
can't come to my funeral.
And
but a lot of people didn't fuck with her.
And she don't fuck with a lot of people, clearly.
And she stood on business.
And stood on business. Like,
that's not scary,
if you didn't fuck with me,
that's what I'm saying.
That would just scare.
That would, like, someone come at their funeral.
I mean, not scary in that way. I guess I think
it's more so scary for her. I'll be honest with you. Like, the fact that you, all right, like, rest in peace to her. But the thing is she resting in peace? It's like, the thing is, it's like you died with, like, you're not at peace. Like, you still have, like, this conflict going on to the point where, like, you're literally not at peace in your heart to where you can write a list of, like, basically like a kill list,
like I don't know if it's a kill list. Maybe like she just didn't, like, for example, like, like, there's like people say, oh yeah, they mistreated you, and then they'll be at your funeral like, oh, I did all this. Some people do not want those people there because it's like, you did not wish me well, and it's okay.
People should have some common sense because it also goes back to, I don't know if it was like Miss USA this last week. Was it Miss USA or Miss something, Miss World? And it was a woman who was competing, and in the audience, like it was talking, the question was like one of her like, one of the things she got passed, and she talked about how she was a victim of domestic violence and how actually her abuser was in the crowd, and how he was there like basically trying to like intimidate her, and she was like, no, like she's like, I'm looking past this. So people should have the common sense to not show up to things like that. I would think that if people knew that they weren't at peace with her, why would they show up to her funeral? But it's like, I don't know,
because she's a celebrity.
Yeah, I guess for me, where I said it was scary is just because, and it's just coming from me, like just I guess me being like a spiritual person, you know, I just feel like forgiveness is like very important to me, and I think it's important for self. So I would think that, especially in death, like death is like one of my biggest fears because it's like I just want to make sure, like, you know, that I'm right, you know, and to think that there are probably so many things that you would want forgiveness for. I think that just that final act of forgiveness would probably like take you further, I guess, in the afterlife for me. So I feel like taking that amount of like hate to the grave is like that's scary to me.
Is it fair to call it hate? Like, again, what if these are people like, we didn't get an insight on the list?
Yeah, I didn't get it inside the list, so I didn't go. I didn't go and research each person's list because I wish I did, so I can have a little bit more to give.
I just know one is basically one is from each of her shows. Like one is from Charmed. What's her name?
Please don't tell me the one that played Melissa Milano. Or was it the one that played Paige?
Not the old, no, Phoebe. It was Phoebe.
Melissa Milano.
Yeah,
wow.
So Phoebe, and then also her co-host from 90210, the blonde girl. I don't know her name.
That's different. So I was like, what if it was one of the nurses? Like, they mistreat her? I don't know. Okay, so that's
I feel you, Crystal. Like,
yeah, because
I mean, but even so, and again, we're all different. So it's like everyone's. But I guess for me, I would think just like that would be. That's just that would be so. Even for me to even think that, I would be scared to even write a list like that, just because like. Death is like very final. So there are a lot of people who like maybe the apology you didn't get like while you were alive, maybe you can get in death. You know what I mean? And I mean, it sounds weird to say, but it's like, I would never want to close that door to be like, even after I die, I will still never forgive you. Like, I don't want to hear you're sorry. Like, don't come to, like, you know what I mean? I just feel like that's a hard thing to carry, and for your heart to be that hardened, even in your final days, it's probably, and honestly, I know that cancer, like sometimes it can make people like really mean, or it can make, like, it's a lot to go through. So I understand that sometimes you're just not in your best mind. You're doing whatever you can do to heal. This is not for me to judge. As far as like, I'm not saying that she's a bad person for it. I'm saying that mindset is like, it's scary to me.
I agree.
Personally.
Right.
Okay, that's fair. I mean,
I feel that.
Yeah.
Did y'all get a chance to listen to JT's album?
No, not yet.
Very good.
Her snippets were good.
Oh, you think it was good?
It's a mixtape. So it's a mixtape. Sorry.
Oh, it's a mixtape.
It's a mixtape.
Okay, that definitely adds some, like,
but you know, it's crazy. And like that, I now like when I listen to it, understanding that it was a mixtape, not an album.
Yeah,
it's a mix. It matches
Makes
the.
sense.
But I think that it was good. I think that.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it's
from the
bad,
songs
but
that I've heard,
it gives mixtape vibe. Like now I'm like, oh, it's a
really?
mixtape.
I guess I don't know the difference between like a mixtape and an album
Girl.
vibes, but I do think that for it to be like her first like solo project, I think it was really good.
Yeah, and of course, as soon as
No.
Like that.
As soon as JT dropped, here go Young Miami. I'm like,
With
girl,
the-
right.
with that EDM wannabe song, which I feel the song was kind of catchy. I won't lie. It was nice
Catchy and bars is different. JT was actually like rapping on her.
No,
album.
okay.
I just don't.
You don't
know
think so?
Where they stand as friends, because
I feel like
Carisha wasn't even at her album release party.
Did she even promote her album? I don't think so.
I mean, but if you're part of,
we don't know. Everything's hearsay, guys.
Yeah,
we don't.
But
know.
I just would think like your old bandmate wouldn't come to your album release party. It's kind of hater vibes. But anyway, no, it is. I mean,
because we. I mean, I don't really know. What I will say, I do think it is. It may be a strategy, right? Because if one city girl is trending, people are always going to look to see what the other city girl is doing. So maybe like her marketing team is just saying like, hey, while the buzz is on, while City Girls is trending, drop your stuff, talk about your stuff. But it is very, very odd to me that JT cannot drop without Young Miami teasing some song.
It happens every time.
I don't even want to give,
because where did Yams even go? That she was trying to overshadow.
I don't want to give this time to Young Miami. I think that's the issue. Is like a lot of the times that when we should be talking about JT and putting her in that spotlight, now we're bringing Young Miami into
she
the
brings herself into
She's
it.
jumping in music.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So like here, like talking about like specifically to JT's album, I think it was a good album. Like there were songs on there that I was really feeling. So it's like this would make me go to a JT concert.
Well, okay, I don't know about that, but
really, I like it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I'll be honest with you. Like I think honestly, the album. I'm not saying like what. I'm just gonna give a real critique. The album was good, but it could use some polishing. Like it could use some polishing, and some of her bars, yeah, they were cool, but like she can use some help. Assistance. Like not saying that she needs like help, like just like some people in the room to bounce off ideas and like write. Like a lot of writers do that. People be in the room with them like, and they say something like, how about this? Like just getting a little bit of assistance because some of her songs, I'm just like, dang, like it's missing something. Like it's like good,
90s baby.
Yeah, but it's missing something. And like, of course, she had like the pop songs that are gonna do well, but it's like. Damn, like, I know her album's gonna be good. If this is what the mixtape look like, okay, cool. I know they're really going to polish her up for that album. So yeah, that's my critique on Cinderella. I think it's called City Cinderella. But like, to bring it back, I wish nothing but the best for JT, but I really just wish that people would just allow her to just have her moment.
That's what I'm saying.
Just let her have her moment, because I feel like she's been really working hard for this moment. So, but yeah.
So kind of like going into the topic of like focusing on yourself, you know, and really doing things for you like JT did. I want to ask y'all, what does it look like for you personally when you say like you're focusing on yourself, you're kind of like reclaiming your time, or are y'all focusing on other things other than yourself?
I'm not gonna lie, most of the time it's just I'm not dating. You say you focus on yourself, like ain't no niggas involved. That's really what it is. Yeah. Like you just continue with your daily life. You just don't have that extra noise. Like like what honestly, like
put that on a shirt.
No, the thing is, I agree.
Literally,
because there was
something
a time where I made a conscious decision where I was like, I'm actually not dating. I'm not interested.
Yeah,
actually not interested in like entertaining anyone.
Yeah, and I feel like all the extra stuff, it comes naturally with just being a woman. Like you journal regular. Like it's not that I'm doing anything extra. Like you always journal. You just stop doing it once that nigga came in the picture.
You know
so you start cooking more. You start doing back to what you was. You start writing back. You start cooking. You start exercising. Things that you were doing before he came in the picture.
You basically, I wanted to equate focusing on you to like just getting back to you. Like that's it. That's it. A hard reset.
Basically,
because I agree with Crystal. Yeah, when that distraction's not around, you are in the gym a little bit more because it's like now you got time. And then journaling, you actually have an outlet. For some odd reason, I feel like women, maybe not all, we use our men as an outlet. No, write that down on paper. Put it in prayer. That's not an outlet. That's a person. So when they're gone, that's when you really can focus on, okay, you know what? This is what I need to be doing. Like you really get on your Zoom. And I just feel like that's focusing on you, getting back on your Zoom.
So then like, how did y'all's routines change? Like from...
I didn't have one.
Go ahead. No, finish your question.
Bro, y'all men are time.
No, that's what it did.
They're succubus.
Somebody just got out
like,
and I started back working.
Yeah, literally. Like I enter right back.
So from that time of like, okay, because so basically I feel like, so do you, okay, before we answer this next question, do you feel like it's possible to focus on yourself while being in a relationship?
I definitely think so, but you have to make a conscious effort.
Yeah, you have to,
because there are some people who I feel like naturally, just the way that they are set up, they can get lost in a relationship very easy if they don't make a conscious effort.
To like really
carve
like
time out for yourself.
And that can go for like even when you have a kid or you take on a new career. It's just making time for yourself. It's too easy to just you know what I mean, get lost in the matrix.
I also think like incorporating boundaries. Sometimes it's okay to tell your partner no, like I cannot do this. Like it's just, you know what I'm saying. So yes, carving out time for your friends, carving out time for yourself, and creating boundaries.
And also, y'all, take note of how your partner treats you when you do tell them no. Because I think a lot of times, like, you tell your partner no, and the way they react really...
It's like you never said yes. Shout out to Beyonce.
No, facts. But it really decides how you move forward with certain things. Like, maybe you sorry, y'all. I'm not saying y'all control a relationship, but I'm just saying, maybe you was talking to your man, and you just like, hey, I want to do this, da-da-da. And the reaction he gave you was not like what you were expecting, and so like you're more hesitant to say that, or maybe you feel like it's not like important and you're trying to do what you feel like gets you a more exciting reaction. But at the same time, it shouldn't be that. Like your man should be excited for anything that makes you happy. So if something makes you happy and your man's not excited about it, you shouldn't stop doing that. You should stop doing that.
But that's the thing. So like, how do you address that? Like, so how do you address the people that challenge you, like that are around you? Maybe the people that you're in a relationship with, maybe your friends, maybe your family, whenever it comes to focusing on yourself. Like
the address is distance.
What you said, how do you address it?
Like, how do you address like them challenging you, like putting more focus on yourself? So like, let's say you put up that boundary. Let's say that you say like, hey, you know what? I'm no longer able to give every Sunday to you. To your family. Maybe like Sundays is like your one day that you actually have off. Give you pushback. And now they give you pushback.
But I think that's what creating boundaries is. Like, and honestly, that's what like refocusing on yourself is about, is because you have to, yourself comes first. Like you have to push past that like guilt of like, damn, because I've had that before. It's like, dang, when you tell your mom no, it's like, oh. But at the same time, it's just like, you got to put yourself first.
You have to put me first. Your foot down.
Yeah.
So I think that's how you combat that challenge. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really think you need to sit down and have a like kumbaya moment. No, it's just action. Okay, you know what? If they're not really aligning with what I'm trying to do, okay, I'm gonna have to a little bit of distance. That's your boundary right there. I'm gonna have to distance myself a little because you're not respecting my journey right now. And it's okay.
Exactly. But that's just also not to get it confused with like you focusing on yourself and then losing focus of the people who actually matter.
Yeah,
there is a fine line because there are sometimes because it's very different from like getting into a relationship and then becoming single. Sometimes when you're in a single transitioning into a relationship, you realize that like maybe not saying you're focusing on yourself too much, but you forget to consider the other person. So like you said, maybe like you're so used to having every Sunday together and your partner's just like, damn, like I would like to do this on Sundays. Like you don't incorporate me into your Sundays and you're just like, but my Sundays are for me. But after you have to realize like, okay, you know what? Like I need to learn to share my life with other people. So there is like a fine line between like, I guess focus on yourself and like also like making sure that the people in your life feel like attended to as well.
I think a lot also then the word is balance. A lot of people are not good at balancing. Yeah. Like I think like really practicing like kind of like what Michelle said is perfect. Balancing. Like there needs to be a percentage to every aspect of your life. And I feel like I don't know, this is gonna sound problematic, but I don't know if you're never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
No, go ahead.
No.
Okay.
Respect, please.
All right. On. So the only reason why I bring that up is because recently at church this last Sunday, I was having a conversation with some of the men in my ministry, and we were talking about like relationships, marriage, dating, all that thing. And he was telling me how like, and it's actually a sermon that the pastor had talked about where, you know, it's like you have to be okay in your singleness. Like you actually have to like to find yourself during your singleness. This should be actually like your most exciting time. And so I had to think about it because I'm like, dang, like I feel like at this point I'm in, I focus so much on other people that I actually don't give myself enough time for me personally. And so I feel like at this point where I actually don't have that family that I actually have to pour into, children, husband, why am I not like giving myself a little bit more focus? Why am I not, you know, pouring into myself a little bit more than I am pouring into others? But I feel like it can be hard, you know, it's like a toss up because like it's balance. Like I feel like I'm neglecting other people in my life whenever I start to like put me first, you know? So.
I mean, I feel like that kind of naturally happens, but I don't know. Like you can always because at the same time, I feel like I've had friends who it's like, I know that that's a period that they're going through. Right. And I think maybe it's giving grace as a friend. Cause you know what I mean? Like I've never like, oh, I'm so mad she's taking time to herself. You know, it's never ever been like that. And it's like when we catch up, it's like we haven't skipped a beat. So I think it definitely comes with like giving grace to like your friends. Cause it's like everybody does need that period. Cause I'm not going to lie, like, have y'all ever been going through it and it's just kind of like, okay, you know, I actually do need the time. You don't actually physically say that.
Yeah.
But it's like, and then somebody's upset with you for like, you know what I mean? Like you didn't come somewhere, it's just like, damn, like, it's not even like that. I'm just trying to get back to me. So like, I don't know. I just think giving people grace, everybody needs that time period, whether it's a week, whether it's a month, like everybody needs it. So I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta give people grace, child.
No.
But then like also too, like with giving people grace, but like at the same time too, like there are people like missing important things. So it's like, how does someone give someone grace? Like I'll be honest with you, like that's the balance. That's when balance enters the chat. Because to me, like I can't. There's certain things I know as a person I could never miss.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm working on myself, focusing. That focus will pause until I support that and go back. But I feel like some people, they think, well, I was focused on myself. It's like, no, babe.
You had a lot going on.
Like, you had a lot going on, but still you have to like.
A lot going on.
Like, at the end of the day, one day you're gonna have something going on and you're gonna want people to support you. What if that's their excuse?
Yeah.
But, you know?
But that's why I feel like grace also works both ways. I feel like a lot of people want grace, but they don't want to give grace. Like, okay, if you're going through something and you want your friends to give you grace, you also have to give them grace to understand that they don't. For one, if you haven't communicated, they don't know what you're going through.
Right.
And they also have every they have every right to feel a way about you not showing up to important events. Like, I cannot ghost somebody for 6 months and not be in their life and expect that our friendship or our dynamic is going to
be the same.
Right.
It's going to be the same. Like, I have to give them grace to understand that whatever they went through in that 6 months that I also was not there for, because just because I'm going through something does not mean that no one else in my life is going through something. So there may be something that I missed that my friend was going through that I wasn't there for. So it's not fair for me to expect them to accept me as a friend with all my flaws, what I got going on, but they're not there. Our friendship is going to stay the same regardless of how I treat them as a friend. Like, that's just, it's unfair. But
my question is, it's like, why can't you expect your friendship to be the same? Like, what if like that person not focusing on themselves was like detrimental to them in that moment, to where they actually needed to take that step back?
Communication.
And like, but the thing is, it's like, I don't feel like always, like, I don't feel like a person always has to like overshare in that moment. Like, that person eventually, whenever they're at that point in that readiness to come to you as a friend and be like, hey, you know what, I was going through like a really dark time, or I was going through this, and I really had to focus on myself to get myself out of that space. So it's like, dang, to be like now 6 months later, just because maybe I wasn't there for your birthday, maybe I wasn't there for something like a birthday, but I've been there for your last 10 birthdays. You know, it's like, it's kind of like to be like, now, like, we don't have the same relationship after 6 months.
I think it depends on how. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but I feel like again, that's unfair, because why is it that I can give you grace but you cannot give me grace? I think that the same way when you make the decision to fall back for 6 months, that is a sacrifice. If you don't pay your rent for 6 months, your apartment can give you grace, but you still gonna they're not gonna say you don't have to owe that money at all. At the same time, if you come back as a friend after 6 months, it's not gonna be the same. You're going to have to do the work to build that friendship up.
Back up.
You can't be out of someone's life for 6 months and then pop up and be like, hey, I know I missed the last 6 months, but what's good? I'm good now, because that's unfair to the other person to act like you have not been in that for 6 months. I'm not saying that y'all aren't friends anymore, but the dynamic of that friendship is not going to be the same, because you have to ask, who was in that person's life when you were not there? Who showed up to that person's birthday dinner? Who picked that person up when they were crying? There was somebody else who took your spot, and maybe they're closer to that person. And yeah, now y'all's dynamic and y'all's friendship is not exactly the same. And you want them to completely stop their life and wait for you to come back in, because your 6 months could have easily been a year. It could have easily been 2 years. So I do think grace has to be two ways. Like, the same way that person gave you grace that, okay, whatever you're going through, I'm going to wait on you. Give that person grace that maybe like things have changed. They may not be the same person they were 6 months ago. So just like come back in, have that conversation, and slowly work up to be like, okay, I'm ready to be in your life now, or this or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See,
I agree. It's the communication aspect. Like, I feel like some people miss that part.
Yeah.
Like, they just want to enter in like, no, like, it's okay to have that. That's what makes y'all friends. Like, the uncomfortable conversations, plural, because you're going to have a lot of them, especially if you are good friends.
I think it depends on like the details of certain situations. Like, for one, how was it in a 6 month period? Like, if I'm texting you and you just don't respond at all, 6 months, of course, it's going to be different. That 6 months, after 6 months, it's absolutely going to be different, because you didn't even say, hey, I'm good, or hey, like, you know, just, you know, nothing. I think, yes, that's a different situation. Also, I feel like it depends on how y'all come back. Well, okay, I guess that's what factors into it, because if y'all were at least communicating at the bare minimum, then okay, cool. Like, I'm going to give you your space, give you grace, and we can come back. We stop talking cold turkey 6 months to a year, and then like all of a sudden it's come back. I'm like, naturally things are going to be a little bit, I think for women, maybe not for men, because men can do whatever it's convenient.
Yeah,
but, like,
women, like, we're very...
Yeah, women are just emotional people. Like, they're, you know, they want to be close to people. They want, especially your friends. Like, somebody you call a friend, you want to be close to. Like, so I just think that it depends on like how the situation went, and also like how they came back. Like, you can't come back and act like
nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Yeah. Like, what's going on, sister girl? You good? Like, I don't know. So it just depends. But I definitely feel like that cold turkey, like, you didn't respond at all, things are gonna shift.
Yeah,
like, things are definitely gonna shift. Like, course, it's naturally.
I mean, what if they move to like Antarctica and like?
And are you okay in Antarctica? Hi, I'm just checking. You have service there, so dang, like, can you catch me something like?
Yeah.
So have y'all ever had a friend, like, to kind of double back? We talked about it a little bit ago, but have y'all ever had a friend that was like too like hyper focused on their relationship to the point where like that became their world?
I mean, I feel like.
Oh my gosh! Wait.
I feel like we've all been that friend. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not gonna lie. I've definitely been that friend. Maybe not for more than 2 days, but
no, I've been that girl.
When you're in a new relationship, and I always give my friends grace when that, because
I've been that
new
girl.
relationships take a lot of time. You're learning a whole new person. Like, you're starting a whole new routine with somebody else, and sometimes, like, yeah, your friends invite you out. You don't want to go out. You want to be up under that
you want to be
nigga.
up under cutter.
Okay, you want to be with that man. So it's like, I feel like if you're in a new relationship, I'm not even gonna invite you out that much. I want you to explore that. I want you to have fun. Like, I'm not gonna be that girl who's pulling you out your relationship. But you got 6 months to adjust.
No, okay, because this
maybe
is saying, like,
maybe
y'all are saying that y'all been that person, but like, have y'all? I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, there's been moments where I was MIA.
Yeah, okay.
For like, I want to say like a year or two.
Let's not bring it up.
Let's start going out.
No, I don't think that.
Boys stop participating.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't think anyone's
for
ever
the
been
most
that person.
part, I feel like everybody at this table has showed up, and like, even when you said 2 days, that doesn't count. Because 2 days doesn't count. Like,
I get what you mean. Yeah,
just what I'm saying. Like, how, like. No, I'm gonna have to respectfully, like, I don't think you guys have been that people. I feel like when it comes to showing up, you guys are always there. Like,
that makes me feel better.
But to be honest with you, is it a negative thing to be that person? I don't think so. Okay,
I do.
So let me say this. I think that at a certain point in our life, y'all, we have to make that transition from where we are putting, like, people are going to be put in certain ranks. And at the end of the day, your friends are not going to be up there with your husband. It just is what it is.
Absolutely.
So if you are getting into a relationship where you truly feel like, hey, this is like my husband. Like, this is someone that I see myself with.
Yeah, you better be right.
And even if you're not, it's okay. And I think that's where you can. I think that's where you as a friend can give grace. Like, y'all.
See, it depends.
I want Nikki to switch real quick.
I just cannot continue to, like, because I'll be honest with y'all. I feel like I've run into this in my past, like with some of my relationships, where he felt like, you're always choosing your friends.
You're always picking your friends, not yours.
You're always like, like your friends call, you're gone. Your friend, you jump.
You should go find
some.
So
it's like, I just think that naturally, like, women, like, sisterhood to women is like a really different umbrella than brotherhood.
Because when that nigga leave, who was putting you up, who was talking wisdom and life into you.
No, but the thing is, Nikki, I 100% agree with you, but I still feel like you can have a healthy relationship and a healthy friendship as well.
I agree.
I don't feel like you have to be there at every single event. I don't.
There's going to be time it's a teeter-totter. There's going to be times where someone has less time. There's going to be times where someone has more time. I do not think it's possible to keep it.
Absolutely. But what I feel like should maintain at the very least, and this is what I said previously, like, even if you're in a relationship and I text you, hey, like, even if it's a week later, hey, I'm just checking on you, just making sure you're okay. Get cold turkey. Just because, and I don't give a damn that you're in a relationship. Like, bro, it's just a man. Like, let's be serious here. It's not your God. So I just feel like if I text you and, like, it doesn't even have to be all the time, because I'm not even a texty person. Like, I can text you like once every other month, hey, just checking on you, and like every time it's cold turkey. And the only thing that's changed is the fact that you're in a relationship. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, that's weird to me.
I would like to speak on that. So, because y'all, the thing was being hyper focused. When we talk about hyper focus, I'm talking about people that, like, it's just them and their man, and like the only time they want to speak to you is it them and their man in the outs.
Oh,
right. That's what I mean about hyper focus. One thing about me, I'll be real with you, as a woman, no, because I feel like when you choose that, you're understanding what you're giving up when you start acting like that.
Yeah.
Cause not saying like he gonna leave you, but if he leaves you, you cannot now come knocking on the doors of the girlfriends that you have neglected because you were so hyper focused on what you were doing and what you were in that you neglected pouring into your friendships. Like Crystal said, you don't got to sit there and talk every day, day in, day out. But like, you're not even making birthdays. You're not even making outings. Like, that's weird. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of like,
and I feel like that's where it gets murky, because I honestly don't expect you to make everything, but like, I just think it's communication.
Important moments. See, that's why there's a difference between moments and important moments. You missing that, because of your relationship, it says a lot about you. And honestly, like, I don't know if I want to be close to someone like that anymore. Because, like, God forbid something happens like that, I have to pick you up. Yeah. And that's like, putting so much burden and stuff on your friends. I haven't
really experienced that with friendships, because I do feel like whenever you have friends like that, then all of a sudden, like, their relationship becomes their crush, and it's to the point where like they're actually not able to go out without that person. Right. And I have I don't ever want to be that girl. I've experienced that one time, and I had a friend, and I had invited her to a birthday, and whenever she showed up, I saw her boyfriend walking in behind her, and I'm looking at her like, why is he here? What's going on? You know, like, and she was like, oh, well, you know, he just wanted to come. I was like, well, this is kind of like a girl thing. I don't understand why you can't separate
for 1 hour
time, you know.
Not even 1 hour for an outing. Like,
so I do agree. Like, of course, there can be like a negativity to it, but at the same time, I do think that we have to get away from that ideal of, my friends are my ride or dies, and they go above my man.
I think we all understand that. We're talking. I don't think anybody. The question is being hyper focused in a relationship, and I think we've all clearly like given our standpoint on it. I just feel like at the end of the day, there has to be some sense of balance. And honestly, at some point, when you go 6 months to a year not talking to your friends, you can't be upset or feel weird if the energy ain't consistent.
So let me ask y'all a question.
You know,
have y'all ever chosen a man over your friend?
Ever. I don't think I've ever been in that situation.
Yeah, no. Girl, y'all still here.
If I did, I'd be married.
No.
I mean, chosen wrong. Maybe you chose a man over your, maybe not chose a man over your friend, 'cause maybe that just sounds so deep. But have you ever prioritized a man's feelings over your friends and maybe later regretted it?
I think I think that
I think put a man's feelings first before your friend.
Yeah,
no,
I have, and I think that sometimes in that moment, it's like it's one of those things where you're like stuck in between a rock and a hard place. It's like you don't want to be on the outs with your man, but you also don't want to be on the outs with your friend. But it's like this is your relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it is what it is.
This is like the person that you are like with, and as long as it's not a thing where it's like I said, detrimental to your friend. I don't know, like, because it's like, why are y'all even putting me in these type of positions? That's what I want to ask you.
I've never been in that situation.
I have, and like sometimes you just gotta stand 10 toes. Some people really be like beside themselves, and it's like they really sometimes put you in a predicament to see who she gonna choose. And I'm gonna always choose my friend.
Really,
they've been here for me. Like I'm not gonna and I'm speaking towards like situations where like. We were like in the preliminary phase. That's not my man. Like he is not my boyfriend.
But let's talk about like relationship.
If someone was my boyfriend,
this is someone that you are actually like down bad with.
I feel like the only
just honestly case by case.
Yeah, no. I feel like the only way like that would happen is if like maybe my man doesn't want me to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That he's just like, I don't want you to go. And I feel like in all my relationships in the past, like it's always just been like a healthy. So if you genuinely don't want me to go, it's for a reason, and I'm going to listen to you. I'm not gonna lie because it's just like unless it's a birthday. I don't know. There has to be a genuine reason as to why you don't want me to go, and I'm definitely going to take that into account and make my own decision.
Yeah,
like I would. So I don't know. That's been and you because guys are also good at deciphering the in betweens that women don't like. Your guy told you that is not your friend. Like has a guy ever told you that? And they were right.
And they were right.
You know what I'm saying? So
they be knowing.
So then like, have y'all ever had to lose a friend over a relationship?
No. Oh, y'all heard me in the beginning of this. I'm not ever losing friends over niggas.
Wait, no. I've lost friend behind niggas though.
It's
like y'all stop talking to me. You get a nigga. Like you get a man and I'm ghost. Like
I have no.
So have y'all ever lost a friend in behind like choosing yourself?
No. No, I don't. I mean, I don't know. Then I don't know.
I wouldn't say. Have I ever lost a friend for real?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm really trying to think. Like, have I lost? Like, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
I feel like we've lost friends that chose their self. Yeah. I feel like we all at this table could probably
okay.
Yeah. And if you ask it like that,
and it wasn't even like it was a long choose self. So,
yeah.
So that's I think what made it. And honestly, I feel like it's always no love lost. Like, to me, it's always just like, love you the same, but it's just the friendship is just not the same. And I am okay with that. I think that when people try to make things being the same, I said many times on this podcast, like, shit don't got to be the same. And I am okay with that. Like, we had our season to where we was having a good grand time. We was going out doing whatever, and it was a blast. But right now, it's just not the same. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, so I don't know. Like, I'm not the type of person who's just like, dang, I wish things were where they were. I don't.
No, yeah, I agree. Because I wouldn't say like lost the friendship, but the level of friendship.
Yeah,
like I think it went from like a level 5 to like a level 1. It's like distant friends type stuff. And again, it's like it's love lost. I think as you get older you just grow apart naturally. Like we said earlier, like there are certain things that regardless of how close you are, it's going to change the dynamic of the friendship. Right. And sometimes you just have to let it be what it is.
But then too, also I found myself in a situation like that. But then I realized I'm like, you know what? No, like. I really care about this person. I'm gonna do my best to like bring this friendship back up and together because I owe it to us. Like, this is like someone I've gone through a lot in life, and like, yes, I understand times right now are pushing us apart, but okay, like, fight for it.
But how can you want that more than her?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's mutual. I'm speaking from my situation. It's mutual.
One thing I'm not about to do. See, the thing is, I'm not a beggar. So the one thing about me is
I'm not begging, but it's like I'm not. Yeah, like
I'm not saying for your situation. What I'm saying is like I'm like as far as friendships, like I'm very okay with whatever friendships are and what they are there to offer me. Like I feel like I have enough friends. Like I have. I'm very close to my family. So it's like at the end of the day, like I feel like friendships are like one of these things in life that really do not need to be forced. I do think that the people who are in your life are meant to be in your life. The people who pour into you are the people who deserve appreciation, who you should be grateful for. I don't think that it's really worth chasing down people who are like, for whatever reason, like you're not close with. I think it deserves like a couple, like, okay, try to mend it. But I really don't think like so much energy should be poured into mending friendships with people who just do not want that. Like I think at some point you have to accept the friendship, like, okay, maybe like we're not meant to be close. Maybe we were close as kids, but maybe right now as adults, maybe we're just not meant to be close. Maybe we're meant to say hi and bye and it just is what it is. Like I have people in my life who care for me and who I care for. Why am I so like stuck on this friendship? Like what's the point?
I agree, but I also disagree. I think it depends. Like, so if it's someone that has now made it up to this point in my life, like as a friend, and like I see like a really big change, then I might like put in that extra step to like try to figure out like what's going on with our friendship. Like if it was one of y'all at this table, I'm like, dang, like we're really distant. Like, and then whenever I talk to her, it's like one word or whatever the case may be. Like I might put in that extra time to be like, hey, okay, like what's going on? Like what's happening to our friendship? Like, is there something that I did? Like, is there something that you're going through? I do think that sometimes friendships, they just naturally take work. Now, I'm not saying that it should be a thing where it's more work than good enjoyment. Times, but at the same time, I do think that since people are evolving, people change, people might be going through like just a weird headspace. So sometimes you have to put in that extra work for that person.
So question, how long are you willing to like, I guess, put in that effort to make a change?
So I think it depends. So if it's just me who's only putting in that effort and I'm literally seeing nothing back from that person, maybe after a year, I'm gonna give up on it. I'm not give up, but I'm gonna now fall back. And now it's no longer going to be me putting that extra step forward, me always being the one to reach out, me being the one to always try to figure out what's going on with you. Like if I'm not getting any type of reciprocation after that year, then I would.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what I'm saying. Because for me, like I've definitely have friends who are like that. But for me, it's like I've just accepted that some people, they don't want more than that. Like some people, they don't want a friend they text daily. They want you to be a distant friend, a friend that maybe y'all get lunch once a year or something like that. And it's just like, I'm not going to put any energy into creating a deep friendship with somebody when I already have deep friendships. Like maybe in our adult life, we don't need to be that close.
Yeah.
Well, to go back on the original question, I'm not gonna lie. When giving it more thought, I have a friendship was affected. I'll say lost, because for me it was completely cut ties for a little bit behind her relationship. Like, and it's because she kept I don't even feel like it's because she put him before me, so to speak, because again, as your man, you should. But I think it's the level of interfering she allowed her man to do in the relationship. And I think that a lot of that was toxic. And the thing is, like, and that's why we kind of actually stopped talking until they broke up. and she came back around and like, trying to apologize. And to me, it just was like, there was way too much damage done for me to kind of just be like, okay, we're going to be the same. It was literally, we have not been the same since, because I'm just like, that had so many residual effects to where it just was like, he interfered so much and I did not understand why. I'm just like, bro, like, is he one of us? Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, and like how do you even handle situations like that where like your partner or your friend's partner is always like butting in?
It's the pillow
like a
talking.
Joe Gorga.
It'd be the pillow talking for me.
Yeah,
like, it's certain things that like you should not be telling your man. Like,
it's just telling y'all. Pillow talk naturally happens.
No, it does. It actually does.
No, there's levels to your pillow talk.
I agree with that. But there was
now
certain
you're not over there
things,
spilling tea.
No, but
like
there's some people that are really spilling like the pot.
Well, you as if it's your husband,
I don't care. There's something I'm not telling him.
You keep saying this,
and vice versa.
Because
y'all keep saying like, let's you know what? Because like I feel like a lot of people say that. Yes, y'all are married, but you can still have some privacy to yourself. And if your friend tells you something, you do not have to now tell your husband what they told you.
Well, not naturally.
But no, there are people that will then tell their partner.
Not naturally. You're not gonna like lay down like, okay, your friend, you get to get off the phone with your friend and you get in bed with your husband that night. Oh, let me tell you about what me and so-and-so talked about. No, naturally, you're not going to have that.
He was intervening. Like, let's say like we had a disagreement or whatever, because y'all know I'm a very sarcastic person. So I'll say things and like she'll maybe take it personal. She'll go back to him. And now he thinks I'm a shit person. We're just like, damn, like, I didn't even mean it like that. And like he drove her up to think like, oh, she don't like you. She up this and da da da. And I'm just like,
and one thing about me, I'm like that too. Like you gonna bring to such time, like that ain't your friend. Like they just naturally do that because they're supporting you. But that's what I'm saying. She didn't have to go back and tell him that. Like it could have been a thing where it's like, hey Chris, so I didn't like how you that joke. What's up?
So my question is, what's the difference?
That's my man, though.
No, I wasn't. So that's what I'm saying.
I think your man's now. You know your man. He's now coming in like.
But let me ask you this.
Don't talk to me crazy then. I want to talk to my man about it.
No, it wasn't.
Because my question is, what's the difference between her talking to her man and her talking to her best friend about it?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't expecting
that is your best friend.
No, I wasn't expecting her to not go to him.
I think you're missing my point.
Where it fell off that is like how she was responding as he would respond, and that was throwing me off because I'm like, whoa, like why are we
been coach?
Yeah, like I'm just like, who is telling you to do it? Like why are you doing all this? I'm so, like it didn't even warrant all that. Yes, I'm just like I don't understand like why you keep going to him and like he keeps interfering and it's making things 10 times worse than what they already was. Like I feel like our situation itself could have been fixable, but now that he's intervened and gotten in your head, it's not. Yeah. So that's why I'm just like, as your man, go talk to him. Tell you, and again, naturally it happens. You're talking to him all the time, so I expect you just to kind of just like tell things. So I get it, but it just was like, damn, like I think it's murky when it's just like have a mind of your own. Like you know what I mean? Like don't allow certain people to make every single decision that you.
Oh, then it started looking like you just sound like your partner talking.
Type shit.
But like, dang, you're his representative.
I think that I'm gonna be devil's advocate on that because I agree you should be your own person, but I think naturally whoever you are with is going to influence you and it's going to influence some of your actions, and it's not always going to be for like a bad thing. Like I have seen people get into relationships and they have grown as a person. I'm like, now you know what? You have a different outlook on life because your partner was able to show you something different than how maybe you were raised and what you have gone through. So I think it just depends. Like it can be bad and good, but that also depends on like the type of person that you're with.
Exactly. Like heavy on the type of person that you're with. Because there's been people I've dated where I tell them situations, you be like, fuck them, that's not your friend. I'm like, actually it is.
Calm down.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what he was doing. I'm just like, whoa. We actually are friends. I'm not going to do that because I know her. So you know what I'm saying? Like I can step in and be like, have you ever, it ain't that deep.
You know, like, okay. Like if you talk like if you have like a dilemma and you just like give surface level to like an African man, they will literally like their advice is so harsh. It's like end the friendship. You don't think we should talk about nothing to talk about? Like what? Yeah. So I feel you, Crystal. Like sometimes you just have to like, all right, cool, I feel you, and I'm gonna just go.
But that's a go.
I don't know. I will say, I don't really think that like. When it comes to your man, sometimes you really can't tell them too much negative stuff because they be holding grudges.
Oh, absolutely.
And so do girls against their man. Like, you know, girls do it against. Absolutely. Like, if you tell me something about your dude, a woman naturally is going to hold a grudge.
And that's kind of, thank you. Like, I feel like I said that without actually clarifying that. That's what I meant by how, like, the whole, like, you don't have to, like, tell them every inch in detail, because now like you're now changing how they perceive your friend or whoever's around you, and it's like that's not fair to your friend, because they may have experienced something with you, with just y'all. Now your husband knows, or boyfriend, and now he being funny with you, and it's like this has nothing to do with you.
And see, I think it just depends. So like I know with my like last relationship, sometimes my ex, he would tell me certain things about some of his friends. Don't get me wrong, like when we be around them, I'd be like, why is this person here? Like, didn't you just tell me X, Y, and Z about them? But then at the same time, like you as a person, you're not going to go treat them differently. If your significant other wants them around, that's on them. Like at the end of the day, you have to allow your partner to have their relationship and their friendships. Like, and they're going to nurture them how they see fit. So it's like, I don't think it's anything wrong with like you being that outlet to be able to like just let them unload, unpack. No. But I don't think it has to be one of those things where it's like, dang, like now I have to be like secretive.
You're not being secretive. You're just not giving, like, and I feel like that goes with everyone. No one has to get the full story.
But I also think it's a way you tell the story. Like, make sure you're telling it in a way that's like the person
non-biased.
Non-biased.
Yeah,
like
you're actually protecting everyone in the story.
You can ask someone for advice while also protecting like your friend's character, like the personal details.
Yeah.
But there's a way you could tell it where it's like you're venting, but you're also talking shit. You know what I mean? And your significant other doesn't realize that you're just talking shit. Or maybe you're only coming to them about the bad stuff. So they're like, every time you talk to me about this friend, it's something bad, not realizing like, oh no, okay, well let me tell you some good stuff. Maybe I forgot.
Yeah.
But it's like if they're only getting one-sided, of course they're not. And every time you bring that friend around, they don't like them, and you wonder why they don't like them.
But my question is, it's like also like, is that really your friend that all you can do is bring negative to your partner about them? It's like how many rifts can y'all have to where you have to keep coming to your partner with like negative things? Like there should be at some point where I think like naturally your partner should be able to tell who your friends are, just like based on like the relationships you have with them.
See, but I think it really depends, because even like there are some people who like they're in a relationship. I will never hear nothing about this man. Then they can text you on the day. I hear nothing. I don't hear pimp anything. I don't hear anything about this man.
But the moment he do something bad,
like it's like you're blowing up my line. I'm hearing every little thing, and it's just like And then it's like when y'all are good, I hear nothing. So like my only perspective,
you're not bringing good.
It's the bad things he does. So it's like to me, it's like I can't even have a positive opinion about him because you don't tell me positive things. So I definitely think again, it's like it's up to you to make sure that when you're venting to somebody, don't just use me as an outlet to free therapy to vent, and then it's like when y'all are good, like Crystal says, it's like cold turkey. I don't hear from you. So it's like you have to make sure that if you're venting, you're also giving that person a well-rounded opinion of that same person. Like come to me when that person does something good. At least come to me with a resolution. Like, hey, we talked and she did apologize and this and that. Da-da-da. At least update them. There are some people who is like they don't do that.
No update. Just downloading. That's it.
Or they also want like an echo chamber where it's like they feel a way about this friend and they want their partner to tell them the same thing. So it's like they're gonna leave out the parts that make them look bad.
That's
So let me ask y'all. So
no, I was gonna say, go ahead, please go ahead.
I was gonna change it up a little bit, but so I was gonna ask, like, so whenever it comes to like diving deeper in yourself and going through that journey, what is something that you cannot compromise for yourself for the sake of others?
My peace of mind.
Essentially that's what it boils down to. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a very like I know myself and I know what triggers my anxiety, and the littlest things can trigger my anxiety. And like there's a lot of times where like, for example, if I have to get up at midnight and clean my house, I'm gonna do it. Like there's no, Chris, you need to wind down, I don't care. I'm going to do this because it makes me feel better. So I think that when it comes to like my peace, I'm going to do whatever. Even if it's like going to get something to eat, I'm going to do it. You know, you shouldn't be eating this late. I'm going to do it. Don't.
Yeah, I can't compromise on peace.
I think for me, it's so crazy. I've tried to turn myself into like, not even turn myself, but I've tried to like be more of like this homebody and like kind of like sit down, you know, whatever it might be. But to be honest with y'all,
you an outside girl.
It's not about being an outside girl. I like to be out. Like I don't always want to be in my house. And so for me, to be honest with you, like even whenever it comes to relationships, like I'm not compromising that. Like I'm not gonna turn into this like homebody where every week I'm in the house just to appease you. I cannot do that.
I will never. People have tried to turn me into extrovert. I like being in the house. I don't want to leave the house, especially because in tech I live far. So it's like I'm inside. And it's like there's been times where it's like I've gone on a date or I've been on dates in a relationship, and it's like they want to go somewhere afterwards, and I'm just like, actually don't want to go. And there's one time where he did not tell me. I was in a relationship. He did not tell me like we're going somewhere afterwards, and I was pissed. I was so pissed because I'm just like, I actually don't want to be outside. Dinner was my limit, and like the fact that we just popped up at another place, I don't fuck with it. And I let him know, and like it never happened after that because I just was like, bro, like y'all keep trying to turn me into this outside person. Like I keep saying I am a homebody girl. Like after dinner, it's wraps for me. Like I don't want to go nowhere. So I just think that like it just depends on who you with. Like some people just be trying to like, you know, do too much. But for me, keep me in the house. Please. Like, I don't want to meet your friends. I don't want to talk to nobody's girlfriend. Like please, I don't want to do any of that. Like and please.
Also too, another thing I will not compromise myself, like my personality. Like I'm not gonna dumb down myself. I'm not gonna lower my vibration to fit your mediocre ass vibration. I will not, because it's mediocre. I'm not gonna lie. Like I always tell people, anyone that does not want you to be yourself around them, that's mediocre.
Oh my gosh, I remember
that's like we're not doing that. So
he hated he hated reality TV. So I used to just be quiet about all the reality TV that I would watch.
Girl, you know what makes me mad?
I'm itching to talk about Real Housewives. Like, bro, and I'm like, dang, I ain't never tweeted. Now I be tweeting about every reality show that I'm watching. I'm like hashtag, and I love interacting with all the people about it. I'm like, yeah, girl, did you see this? He used to hate that. And
you know my pet peeve is when someone asks, like, I was watching Flavor of Love. What you learning from this?
Bro,
why are you being such a butt? And I'm just like, cuts the TV off. Like, I cannot, this energy, I can't have this around me while I'm watching this.
I just want to watch TV, bro.
Like, vibes.
That reminds me of the fact that, like, y'all, I'm not gonna make it seem like I'm like this like super like proper girl, like where all I listen to is like Christian music and all this. I listen to Sexy Red, and I might go to her concert. So it's like I feel like you should be able to appreciate like both sides of me, like you know,
all different personalities.
Yeah, like I am a very eclectic person whenever it comes to music. Yeah, some nights I might listen to rock, some nights I'm listening to classic, some nights I might listen to trap. Whatever the case may be, but like that's me, and I feel like it's important to, you know.
And I want to be around someone that's open to that too. Like I want you to be open to other things too. Like not just always this, always that. Like just be open. Yeah. I'm not compromising on that either. Someone who just doesn't want to be open, I can't be next to you because it's like, how are we gonna enjoy life if you're never open?
Have you ever talked to a nigga that hated the podcast, bro?
Oh, girl,
podcast, bro.
And like said it out their mouth. I'm like. Yeah. You forget you talking to me like what is wrong with you?
You know what? I haven't had someone who's blatantly come out and said they hated the podcast, but what they have done is they keep making like Kevin Samuels references towards me, and I just be like, what is the matter with you?
I'm not gonna lie, like
go play in traffic.
Heard that in a while.
Yeah, go play in traffic. Cause like, what is this?
No, nobody's outwardly said that they don't. Why are we allowing
men to just be stupid?
You know that they don't. Like. Okay, you don't like that because it's like, again, people with podcasts have stigmas. Now we have a bad rap, guys. We do. We have a terrible rap.
Take the mics away.
Let me tell y'all something, y'all.
No, so like a podcast is not a sellable point as a woman.
It's really not.
So it's like
it's a red flag. You have
a podcast. It's like
it's a big red flag.
Oh my gosh, like you know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, it's just one of those situations where it's like, you have a podcast? Oh, okay.
No, it's when you said that. I matched with someone. I guess I matched someone on Hinge. Back in my, earlier days. And one of my pictures has me on a microphone. And like, oh, you make music? I mean, cool. I'm glad. That's like the natural thing. I was like, oh, no, I'm on a podcast. Oh, for real? I love podcasts. I'm like, and I just like, okay. He's like, let me see a clip or something. So I was like, I sent like I forgot what clip. Honestly, I really should have thought about it.
You should have thought that. It was
negative. It wasn't negative, but I could see how a man could take it as negative. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to watch y'all's podcast. Y'all.
Haven't talked to him since.
Haven't heard from him since.
And the thing is, that's fair.
Right. And I wasn't even upset. I was just like, that's real.
Who I'm like,
that's real. You know what you can handle.
It's real.
So that's my last question. So what is one thing that y'all have like added in to like maybe like your like routine, self-care routine that has like really just helped you?
Like help me?
Yeah, like it might be journaling, it might be reading, it might be whatever. Facials, it might be massages.
Love Island.
No. Okay, there's several things. Like, and I think it's just things that I do naturally that I seek enjoyment in. But people in my past try to bury that part of me. and I let it stay alive. So reality TV, I love a good reality TV show. Like one thing about it, I'm gonna eat and watch TV at the same time. I have my good. I'm not pressing play until my meal is heated up and in front of me. Like that's the type of girl I am. Like, and then cleaning. Like I will clean. Like just because like it does so much for my mental health. Like I just will clean it. Even if I have to organize, like I'll take everything out of a drawer and then reorganize it. Halfway through, sometimes I regret it. But like when I'm finished, I'm like, okay, yes, I like the way this looks. Like it's always like I like the way this looks. So for me, that's what it is. The two things.
Nice.
Anybody else?
I Love Island.
Yeah, Love Island.
I'm trying to think.
I haven't watched Love Island in like literally the last Love Island I watched was India and Dami, and I don't regret.
Last of a Dying Breed.
I don't regret starting.
I think for me, it's just been like back to reading. That was really. I gave up reading. I'll be honest with you. Like, I just was not reading, and to the point where I actually felt like I was kind of like.
Oh, there's a lot. Times you scrolling on TikTok, that's the time.
Exactly. I feel like it was one of those times where like I was at the point where like I was kind of like dumbing down a little bit. Like it was kind of hard for me to like find certain words that I usually would be able to use in sentences, but you get those type of words from reading and exposing yourself to like, you know, different literature. So I was like, Nikki
said that.
Open up a book.
I always keep a book in my travel bag. So when I'm on the plane, I will always read. Like just because I'm like, why not? So I feel like that's the only time I get. Like I don't know.
That's why I stopped watching TV for a little bit. Cause I felt like I was just not. I wasn't speaking correctly. It's like you're not reading. You're not even looking at words.
But I also listen to podcasts a lot. Like a lot of podcasts.
I started feeling I was getting done with that too.
Well, it depends on the type of podcast you listen to. So I listen to the news podcast. Like, you know, I listen to news podcasts. I listen to there's certain podcasts that I stopped listening to. And now I listen to like more worldly podcasts, so to speak.
Yeah.
And Audible. I love Audible.
Yeah.
Even though Audible is starting
Audible. I don't know
what's happening. I'm like, why y'all taking $18 away from me every month?
$18?
Audible is actually a little expensive.
Library card.
It's getting expensive.
But you know, I think library allows you to download books and read.
It does.
On Libby, but it don't hit the same. Not all the books is on there. But
I think that it does work, but Audible did get a little expensive. But girl, I just keep putting in new emails.
I'm screaming.
It's nothing.
I have like 8 credits.
It's nothing to create new email.
I have 8 credits, and
to answer your question, I'll say like help me. I started like calling my mom more. You know, just like sometimes it's like okay, like today I should have called my mom because I literally had like a situation where I was overly stimulated, and like that is so crazy. Now I understand what that means for some people. I feel like I think that's like a made up thing. No, today I felt that, and like I literally was like. Y'all, and I was knocked out for like a good 3 hours, and that's unlike me. And I literally was like, y'all, I'm an emotional person, yes, but like it takes a lot to bring me there. And like I literally got off the phone, I'm like, tears start falling. I'm like, why the fuck am I crying? I need to like talk to someone, but I don't know who to call. I don't know what to do. Like I just feel like I'm like trapped in my body. I literally was like shaking for a while. Finally, I was like, damn, I should have called my mom. I know my mom would have gave me some sound advice, like get over yourself, like Paulette. It's not that deep, like, you know? So yeah, that helps me. Talking to my mom or like calling one of my oldest brother. That helps too. But sometimes, you know, they can be a little racist.
Sometimes they can be a little like too real.
It's like, I didn't really want this type of advice, but
thank you anyways.
Okay. Yeah. But I do want to ask on this way off sub. And I've just been wondering how you can do this, you know, because our MOTO. How do you turn a situationship into a relationship? And do y'all think that's possible?
How long?
Take it from here.
I'm not gonna lie. No, because it's like, why have y'all been in a situationship long enough to call it a situationship and it's not been a relationship? It's dead. Like if he hasn't made you his girlfriend within the first couple months, I think to me it's just like, and when I say couple, I'm like 1 to 6, 7. And look, even 7 is pushing. Right. But I just feel like, no, because it's like, you're not taking me, like, you don't take me serious. So no, like, I just feel like, But
I feel like you can't, because I feel like I have definitely before, but it wasn't even like, that's what I was trying to do. I do think that there are some guys who sometimes they don't really understand like that that's not what you want. Right. Or maybe that's not what they understand that it's not. I don't know. Because like for me, it's like, I don't think anyone intentionally enters into a situationship. I think sometimes you just talk to somebody and then before you know, you blink twice and you're just like, excuse me? Like, where am I? And I feel like you have to communicate like, this is not what I want. And it's not until you leave that I think the guy realizes like, oh, she wants a relationship. And if he wants to be with you, he realizes like, either she wants a relationship or I can't be with her. A lot of niggas gonna choose not to be with you. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
sometimes
they do.
She's
yeah.
But I feel like
don't think that you're one upping. Yeah, don't hurt your feelings.
But I feel like there is like a slim minority of guys who just like in that moment they realize like, oh damn, well I didn't realize that's what we was doing here.
Right.
So if that's what you want, then like okay.
Right. My thing is, what did you think we were doing here?
I think our generation has just redefined relationships. I'm not gonna lie, because the fact that situationship is even a word is even crazy, because a lot of people have blurred the. Remember we used to call it friends with benefits, right? Yeah. And that's just what it was. I feel like the ship entered because now y'all going on dates with each other. Y'all are meeting each other's friends, family, all that. That's a relationship, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all just in delusion. Y'all are delusional. You're delusional beings.
So maybe I haven't been in a proper situationship.
There ain't nothing proper about that.
So to be honest with you, if I'm in a situationship with somebody, I do look at that like a friends with benefits. So we're not doing those things. Like, yeah, we might like go out and enjoy ourselves, but like I'm not meeting anybody. Actually, my friends don't even know about you.
I don't think that's just a situationship is. I feel like a situationship is you doing everything you're supposed to be doing in a relationship, except he hasn't asked you to be his girlfriend.
The commitment is just missing.
I think that sometimes, to be honest with you, I think the only way to turn that into a relationship is to give an ultimatum.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like either that or it's not gonna happen, because it's like, literally. We're doing everything, and you thought that I just want to be doing this for you for the fun.
It's literally what our parents warned us about like why buy the cow when you get the milk for free.
Yep.
You gotta start charging for the milk or stop giving. It's
oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, sorry, not to go not left, but it's kind of like what Miracle Watts has said, that she was like, she gave Tyler a baby and now she's like, no ring has came about or whatever.
What were you expecting?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you give a man so much.
And he just got out of that relationship.
You're not an exception.
And you think that like after you've given him so much, now he wants to put a ring on it. It's like, no, you did everything before. And this is no shade, because I do like them. But it's just kind of like in general, like I feel like you give so much to a man without thinking like, commitment does mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? That is a lot. And it's like, if commitment actually costs $0. So if a man doesn't even want to give that extra step, to me that screams a little bit of red flag, because it's like, why he couldn't just make you his girlfriend? Like, y'all are doing everything as husband and wife.
Everything.
Why not?
That's the only thing, because it's like
so traumatized.
I feel like people make relationships a bigger deal than they are.
That's what it's not that deep. It really
honestly,
not that deep.
People really be thinking they become
slaves.
Honestly,
are they that deep? Because what I really think, because someone even broke it down, they were just like, honestly, like, if you are with somebody and they don't want to be in a relationship with you, it's because he's having sex with other women. If you really think about it, what is keeping a man from being in a relationship with you? It's because he wants to be able to get away with talking to other women, because that's the only thing a relationship requires is exclusivity. So if a man is saying he does not want to be exclusive to you, it's because he's not exclusive to you. That's really all it is. And once you realize that, it'll be so much easier, because it's like, you don't want a nigga playing in your face. A nigga who says, I don't want to be in a relationship with you, well, I want to sleep with you, is playing in your face. Like, that's
it like a
playful, bro. That's a very unserious behavior. Literally.
They look at you like, never mind. Fuck it. Y'all know what I mean.
As women, we should.
It's embarrassing, honestly. We've all been there. I'm the outro. So let's chop it up. It's your girl, Paulette. So yeah, guys, this was honestly a very interesting episode. Like, we were all over the place and I loved it. You need to follow us on TikTok, Petty Party Podcast, Instagram and Twitter at Petty Party Pod. Make sure you email us your motos, pettyparty12814@gmail.com, or you can send us a DM, whichever you are comfortable doing. We love to get them all. Also, guys, remember to use our code at shop.lovemehair.com, PP25, to get 25% off your order. And yeah, so remember, you have until August 17th, so make sure you get your new tresses, tag us, and also thank y'all for interacting with us on all our social media platforms. We love the love, and honestly, if we don't get back to you immediately, we will. And it's your girl, Paulette, signing out. Holla.
Bye, y'all. It's Crystal, aka Champagne Chris, signing out. Peace.
Bye, y'all. It's your girl, Shelly Shell.
Bye, everyone. Just Nick checking out. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T. Y. I'm petty all the time.